No wonder you can't hear anything out there.
Yeah, because it's not coming out on YouTube. I've just unmuted
I
on
just
YouTube and I'm
realised.
not getting any.
Yeah, I just realised. I had everything muted.
We've been chatting for 5 minutes and nobody heard us. Never mind.
Ah, I found her. It was Big Brother 2007.
All right, what was her name?
Tracy Barnard.
Oh, God, right. Yeah.
With the pink hair and the ring in her lip.
Yeah.
That was her.
She was a nutter. That was a weird one that year.
I used to know her. And if you look her up at the time, it says, oh, she lives at the Checkers pub in Fordham. That was my local. Not my village, but my local.
We were discussing Big Brother, people, if I'm to remember Big Brother.
Non-sec, have you got your Zoom application sorted out on your computer?
The sound keeps fading in and out.
On your end? I don't know why.
I can hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's listening. He's listening through YouTube where he doesn't need to.
Right.
Turn YouTube sound down, non-sec.
Mute it.
There is no
Mute your watch page.
Yeah, mute YouTube.
You should still hear it through Discord.
Yeah, I got my mic open in Discord so everyone in there can hear me.
Why doesn't he just come in here?
I don't know.
That's what I was getting around to.
It's a lot easier.
Yeah, as we were saying, it was just a random, we were bored, let's try this kind of feed. Alan's fine. There's nothing wrong with him. Just, he wasn't
Yeah,
around.
this will be sort of like this will be sort of like my in-between type stream when I get bored in between the in-between pre-show, after-show and the ancient technology show.
Is it in between?
Yeah, this is the in-between, yeah.
I will change the name later. Just
or is it the pre?
Live from my living room.
No, it's not the pre. No, the pre-after show, before show, after show. That's usually Mondays,
in between,
Fridays.
Colon. What do you mean train wreck confirmed? Good grief! It's not as good as that.
Oh, there's a huge ass out in the peanuts.
Yes, you're welcome to come in here if you want.
Shoo!
Just going to Discord in the special place.
But as I was asking non-sec, has he got his Zoom sorted out if he came on Zoom?
I used to know Hugh, surname Janus.
That must be Hugh's brother. Okay.
Then he needs then his sister's last name's Tits, then, isn't it?
It doesn't work as well.
No, it doesn't either, does it? I should have thought of that one before I said it.
Yeah.
Hindsight's
nearly as good as foresight.
Snark doesn't know where he is.
Neither do we. What makes you think we know? Christ almighty.
Okay, Hughes, your cousin then.
Oh, okay. How could someone with a different surname be my sibling?
Yeah.
Oh, they might have been adopted.
So we have nothing planned, per se. If anybody's got any videos they want us to play.
I can tell.
Yeah. Wasn't really expecting anybody to show up, quite honestly.
Well, we can all bugger off if you want.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, okay, bye.
I could always read you some stories. Some medical stories. Play my gosh video.
Play my gosh video? Where is it? Should have came and shilled your shit over on Discord then, you?
Yeah.
Because we're shilled to you. Southern Stars observation test. Not that one? For that? Oh, here we go. Huge jars.
Can I say what the hell's a gosh?
Huge jars test with the cat. Is it a cat? No, it's a dog. Huge jars live stream. Which one is it? Gosh video.
What does gosh mean?
I got no idea. I'm scrolling up further back, but I can't see anything else.
If it was rearranged a bit, I'd say good sense of humour, but...
No, I've already done that. Already done that. up to date there. Professor Dave, Plane
You put the link in. Great observation in the southern hemisphere.
Anton, Reg Rhetoric, Huge Ass's live stream that only went for. It's not available anyway. And then one with the.
Yes, 3 weeks ago.
Border Collie in it went for 10 minutes. Test with the Border Collie. Test 2 with something. Test 2.
If you look for that video, it's 3 weeks ago.
Looking at something in the sky. Camera's moving around. You're zooming in. Oh, it's the moon. Crescent moon. Okay. How do I get to that? Yeah, here's Huge Ass's crescent moon. I'll start again. There we go. Talk.
And not only am I by a busy road, I'm by a tree full of new roosting birds. But it's a beautiful evening here in Brisbane.
Hello?
And we have a great shot of the moon. In fact, I'm seeing some earthshine there. And of course I'm looking to the north here, because in the southern hemisphere the moon is in the north. Turn around, we might be able to see some stars. There's a star up there.
I'm hearing 2 huge asses.
I'm in Discord. Could I be somewhere else?
we're just playing your video.
Yeah.
That was confusing then. So Huge Ass has got to learn how to use Zoom.
Well, I haven't been given a link to Zoom. Where do I
go? Wait a minute, I'll just check to see if you've got the special key. First, you've got to have the key to the special place.
Ooh.
Special place. Yeah, you've got the key to the special place, but have you got Zoom all sorted out?
I haven't got it active at the moment. I'm not sure I've got Zoom on this computer. I might have it on my iPad. My iPad.
Oh, it only takes 2 seconds to put it on a computer. It's pretty well foolproof.
Oh, I'm stuffed in.
Oh. It's as basic as downloading it, and once you've got an icon for it on the desktop, and it's linked through to your Google Chrome, and it will pinch your avatar from there, and away you go.
Yeah, but I already have it on my iPad is the point.
Oh, okay.
But I don't have to download it again. I will download it for the future, because this was unexpected. At least I did have it on my iPad.
And however you come out on the live stream, when you come on the panel, it won't matter if you haven't got an avatar just yet. But I haven't had any problems with anyone at the moment without an avatar. It was a couple of updates ago.
Now, isn't he?
I'm going
I
to have
don't
to download
mind
it.
nicotine, it's okay. We're all right in my book.
Colin says, don't forget you're not allowed to go into Zoom naked.
Oh?
Anyone else want to come in, just go into the Discord and shout, and we'll get you a link.
What happened to Nonsec? He disappeared.
He's in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to go and open some more windows, I think. It's getting too hot.
I only asked him, has he got his Zoom thing sorted to come on Zoom?
Zoom's being okay.
Well, while you're doing that, we'll finish watching.
Yeah.
Watching this.
Give you the right link for it.
So it seems to me, if you want to participate in the great observation in the southern hemisphere, oh yes, there's the pointers. Yep, there they are. all you need is an iPhone. You don't need any fancy camera. It's something you can hook into Discord with. I can hook into Discord with this phone. And I'm working off the 4G here. Just for a little while, Carl, I just wanted to test it out on the 4G and see if we can see stars. And in the early evening here in Brisbane, I can see the pointers. That's Alpha Centauri in the bottom and Beta Centauri on the top. And that means Southern Cross is there, although it's probably a bit faint to see right now. When it gets a bit darker, I might try again. It'll be a good test for the Gosh situation. So we just look back towards the north again, towards Brisbane itself. Beautiful evening here, and we've got the moon up here in case you missed it before.
Yeah, Carl said he was working there too.
I hope you can hear me above all the ambient noise. Moon looks great tonight. Southern Cross doesn't look any darker. See what else is in the sky. I don't know what that star is. The star, where is it? This street light's got too much light. We'll just look at the moon. And the sunset. Sunset about half an hour ago actually. It's just lingering till it's winter time. Alright guys, I'm going to stop this here because my takeaway is probably ready. And I will be on again later to see if we can look at the Southern Cross properly when the sky's a bit darker. See you then. Road.
Yep.
Have you put a link in the side chat to the one he wanted you to play, so it's in the internal now?
Yeah, okay, I'll grab that one. Link.
To the one he wanted you to play, so it's in the internal now.
Yeah, okay, I'll grab that one.
Huge jars. Huge jars.
Huge jars.
Huge jars.
You.
In Discord, in the special place, Hugh.
Yeah, in the special place. Scroll down in Discord, down the
Down
sidebar.
to the Oz Squad.
Down to the Oz Squad, yeah. And in the special place.
But I see it now.
Yeah, only special people know that place.
Oh, very special.
Yeah. Alright, what do we got here? Gosh, the Great Observation in the Southern Hemisphere Project. Okay. What's that?
Huge jars. Huge jars.
Huge jars.
Huge jars.
Hugh. Hugh.
You make me the huge ass.
Good evening, huge jars.
Huge jars. I love that name.
Jars. Huge jars.
No, only Lord.
Lord, huge ass.
Huge jars.
Huge ass.
The Hugh Yarts. Please let me know how you pronounce your last name.
Huge ass.
Good evening, Mr. Jars.
Huge ass.
And huge jars.
I love you, Hugh.
Greetings and salutations, this is Huge Ass. If you saw my last video, you'll know about my great observation in the Southern Hemisphere project, or GOSH for short. I've heard more than one flat earther say that they would change their minds if it could be shown that the stars looking south of the three non-Antarctic continents at the same time are the same. The reason why this is a flat earth killer is obvious when you look at the AE map, which is the preferred view of the flying pizza that most flirts believe in religiously. Australia and South America are on opposite sides of the world according to this map. So if we are living on a stationary frisbee under a rotating celestial sphere, then there's no way the stars looking south could possibly be the same on the three Southern Hemisphere continents. Unfortunately, to see stars, you need it to be nighttime. Reality interjects here and says that because of the tilt of the Earth's axis, the only time that it is night in all three places at the same time is around the longest night of the year, which is on June 21st. So for about a week either side of then, such an observation is possible. It will be just after sunset in South America, middle of the night in Southern Africa, and near sunrise in Western Australia. This difficulty is why it hasn't really been done before, and by Flurf logic, if it has never been done, that's because it's impossible. But if we do this observation, we should easily show that it is possible, and at least the Flurfs will no longer have that excuse. So to kill this flat earth idea, I'm asking for people in South America, Southern Africa and Western Australia to participate in the observation. The more observers that we have, the more indisputable the results. Not that Flurfs ever accept empirical results, but that doesn't matter. People who are too far gone are not our concern. We're worried about those who are on the fringe and who might go either way, but who are genuinely seeking the truth. If you think you can help, email me on hugeass1@gmail.com. But first, look at timeanddate.com. If you are in South America, check if it will at least be half an hour after sunset on June 21st at 2300 GMT. You'll have to look up your time zone if you don't know it already and figure that out. Anyone in Southern Africa should have night already, so that will work for you. And if you are in Western Australia, make sure sunrise where you are on the 22nd is no earlier than 7 AM and preferably later. Perth sunrise is 7:17, for example, but Broome won't work because that's 6:22. The intention is to live stream what you see in each location, so it's clear that everyone is seeing the same thing at the same time, and hence we're once again killing Flat Earth. To participate, you'll need a few things. Number one requirement, a camera capable of showing the Southern Cross as an example, preferably with a tripod to make it easier. To test, go out any night and video the Southern Cross. If you can't see it in the resulting video, you might need to figure out access to a better device. Number two, download Discord if you haven't already, and connect with me so that I can tie your feed into the live stream. Number three requirement, a safe place to perform your observation, preferably away from city lights. I appreciate not all countries are as safe as mine, but that also disqualifies me from advising you how to manage that risk. So that's up to you to make decisions about. I don't want anyone putting themselves in danger for this. Number four requirement, a reliable internet connection. Last thing we need is a bad connection or lots of dropouts. If we don't have at least one person observing from each continent at the same time, then we really don't have enough data. Again, how you ensure your connection will depend on what's available in your location, so that has to be up to you to manage. Number five requirement, the ability to be outside at 2300 GMT on June 21st and a week or so either side of that. Because of the weather factor, we might start attempting this on June 14th and do it each night until we get it. This might mean you need to rearrange your schedules to be available. I think that covers it for now. Many thanks to all those who have already expressed interest. This is starting to get exciting. So what are you waiting for? Send me an email and let's kill the flat earth together.
Hey.
So can everyone hear me now?
Yes, yes. Hear you loud and clear.
Good.
Coming in loud and clear.
And I'm in Zoom now.
Yep, I know that.
Good. Good. Just want to make sure I was in the right place. I've done that before. I've gone into someone else's conversation. I was thinking, these aren't people I know.
Well, usually tell by their accent.
So I don't know if we got anyone from. We've got a couple of people from Western Australia, but the more the merrier. I don't know if we got anyone from South Africa or South America listening to us right now. But if you are from there, I'd love to hear from you. Tonight I was testing out my camera to see what I could see with my iPhone 10, and I found at sunset I could see some stars. You would have seen the live stream video that you played earlier. I could actually zoom in and actually see some stars, but I couldn't quite see the Southern Cross. And I thought, oh, well, when it's darker, I might be able to see it better. And then I tested it when it was darker, and I couldn't see it at all. So it needs that extra light from the sunset for the phone to work. So you need something better than an iPhone, it seems.
What megapixel would the iPhone be?
No idea. I think the 11's better than the 10, but they're still not as good as the Galaxy as far as I know.
I know Peter's done a star trial with the Southern Cross showing on his...
star trails you can do, but we want to do live. Otherwise,
Yeah.
It's not going to be good evidence. So it says the iPhone X has dual 12 megapixel cameras. So we need something better than 12.
Mm-hmm.
What's the 11?
I got 14. That's about all I've got.
No, the 11 only has 12 as well. What about the Galaxy 10?
My missus's phone's got 16. And my camera's got
Galaxy
14.
10 is 12?
No, I mean as in what Peter showed, that he can get a visual on the Southern Cross. So he's able to do it like the practical test. So at least he's gone that far.
Yeah, I pretty much could do that at sunset when there was more light around, because the camera could pick up more light. But when I did it at 7 o'clock when it was astronomical darkness, I couldn't see it. There wasn't enough light for the camera to pick it up.
Yeah, well, I've only got Carl. I don't know what Carl's done. He's in South Africa. South America is not really anyone that's come forward in that area.
No, I had Team Skeptic said he had some relatives there, but I haven't heard anything more on that. I thought I might contact the local astronomy clubs and see if they could help.
Yeah, and we do have the odd person in New Zealand, so that's not bad, but I don't know what cameras they've got.
I thought everyone in New Zealand was an odd person. But they're too far to the east anyway, because Eastern Australia and South Australia are too far to the east as well for it to be covering the 3 continents. It's the longest night of the year in the Southern Hemisphere, but to cover the 3 continents, it stops at Western Australia going east. It'll be sunrise in Perth.
Okay.
Oh, we have a special announcement from Colon.
Yeah, where?
Welcome to the world. My second granddaughter, born at 9:17 a.m., 6.9 ounces. She's beautiful. Mother, doing fine.
Wow.
Congratulations, Grandpa.
Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations.
That's great.
Awesome stuff.
You're catching up, Colin.
Name. We need a name.
I got 5.
Semicolon?
Yeah.
Yeah, semicolon. Yeah, that's it. I think I got 5 grandkids. I have to count them all again.
Oh, there's Casual as well.
Casual said he's a bit tired.
Tired. Busy shift last night.
I think that's what he said. Shattered as had a really busy shift last night.
Oh my goodness, we've got 26.
Oh, there's non-sec. He's hiding out in the peanuts.
Yep. When you're coming in?
Yeah, I asked him. Everyone's invited.
Oh.
They've got the special key.
Time to get any more derp? Anybody seen that's
Yeah, that's what I was about to do. I was just looking to see what derp I could find. Anyone else in the peanuts know of any derp that's happened? Or would only be a day because we already streamed last night. So.
Well, there's always Rude Earther.
Rude Earther.
He filmed a sun. Yeah, he filmed a sundog last night.
Oh, okay. Grab the link.
Grab a link. You able to do that? Throw it in the internal or somewhere?
I can. I was going to do a video on it, so it should be here somewhere.
Oh, that's a lovely name, Colin. Alicia.
All right.
Pretty. It's very pretty.
Thankfully, it's not one of the names on my upcoming video. That would have been a bit of a oops.
Oh dear.
Okay, I've put it in the peanuts.
Oh, okay.
So, Hugh, I should be able to. Excuse me. Excuse me. I should be able to
cough.
Yes, I should be able to cough. I should be able to do it. I'm down in Victoria, so.
Yeah, you're too far east, unfortunately, mate. You'll be well into the morning by the time it gets to you.
Yeah.
What time it has to happen?
Well,
that puts me out. That puts me out.
You're after the Southern Cross. You're after the Southern Cross, aren't you?
Yeah, but
In
it's got to be at
particular?
2300 GMT, and it'll be well into the morning by the time, by that time. See, if you saw in the video, the time and date map, it showed that it'll be sunset in South America and sunrise in Western Australia, which means it's early morning in Victoria.
Well, there is the other way of doing it, and that would be setting it up so we were in the middle. Would that work? Or say like it was midnight for us?
Well, then you wouldn't get a simultaneous from South America and South Africa, or maybe South Africa, but not South America. Because the thing is that if you can see the same stars from all three continents, then the AE map is debunked as a flat Earth model, because you're looking in completely different directions in between South America and Australia. You're looking 180 degrees. But if you can see the same thing, then obviously you're not.
But they don't have a model.
Yes, you're right.
Because they can't model it because it's physically impossible. But they don't have a model.
And we're proving this. This observation will prove it's physically impossible. So, once again, it's just more evidence. People have always said. I heard a Flurf at one point say, "Well, if someone did this sort of observation, that'd be enough for them." So I thought, well, no one's done it because no one's ever bothered to, pander to a Flurf before.
Yeah.
But but we're at the community that can do it. So if we can get people together to do it, then that's one thing we can tick off, saying, well, you can't deny this.
Oh, but they will.
I tried to.
They'll find.
They won't succeed.
God awful excuse to try and deny it.
Yeah, they won't succeed, but they will. I mean, they'll twist it in their own mind so that it's actually proof of the flat Earth. I bet, but that's just the way they work.
I mean, if anything else, they're just outright lying. When they say, "Oh, this has never been done. You can't show this. This has never been measured." Blah 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 blah. And you think, no, it has. But you're just lying and saying it's never been done. The size of the Earth has never been measured. Yes, it has.
Even worse, they're lying to themselves.
Yes.
To me, that's the worst type of deceit.
Yeah.
Because how can you look at the world in any sort of real way if you're lying to yourself about it?
I'm a truth seeker. No, you're looking for your truth.
Looking for truth you like.
Yeah.
There's a difference between taking all of the evidence that you've collected and then only picking and choosing the stuff that actually fits your story.
Yeah.
Yes, your opinion should be formed by the evidence, not the other way around.
Correct.
And that's what the scientific method's all about. It's saying, okay, well, you might come up with an idea of the way the world works, but you test that. And based on the evidence, you either say, yes, it was a good guess, or no, it wasn't. And then you move on to the next thing. They don't do that. They pick what they want to believe, and then they find evidence to match it. And then they usually don't find very much, but they do find stuff they can twist into. It's like square peg in a round hole for them.
Yeah.
That's why I like these, either sunsets or the star ones where we can repeat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it might be difficult, this Gosh observation, but it's certainly possible. So, and if it's never been done before, we'll have it on YouTube, and we can always point to it in the future, you see. So.
I put the I stopped your video at the point where the Kármán line for the sunrise would be, or sunset.
Yeah, so you can see. Yeah, and that's the only time of the year when the days the nights are the longest in the southern hemisphere, where you can get all three continents and you can see the stars at the same time, and only just, as you can see. The darkest area is astronomical darkness, but the first bit of the curve is where the sun actually sets. So you should be able to see stars at least in the second layer there, and from there on. So we'll get some. So Brazil's probably a good spot. Obviously, Africa is going to see it all night long, and early morning in southern Western Australia. Because I looked up the sunrise times for Broome, which is up in the northern part of Western Australia, and it's too early. So
is Wolfie in Perth or in Darwin? We don't know where he is at the moment.
He's in Sydney.
Sydney at the moment.
He was in Perth for a little while.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Oh, hello on the ship I can't see. Long time no see.
Yeah, Sheepy. That's our
You coming in?
That's our New Zealand connection.
Our New Zealand correspondent.
Okay, what else have we got here that we're going to watch?
Hello, I got a super chat.
Oh, you got a super chat for 5.
A good one too.
5 of those things. 5 of those things.
Yeah, £5. Hey, Ian and me. Thank you, Tusk.
I take my percentage of cut out of that pip. So
little super chat symbol even pulses. I hadn't noticed that before.
So what's my cut? 45%.
Bugger off. You should get 30.
I think you'll get the ever popular 2/3 of bugger all.
5/5 of a mosquito foreskin.
What's wrong with mosquito wings?
I know Tusk. Is it Tusk? Yeah, Tusk. He's using a picture from Crafty Keeler as his icon now.
That says we go.
Is it Tusk or Tusk?
I just say Tusk.
Tusk.
Is it the old Fleetwood Mac tune?
Tusk, yeah.
Tusk or Tusk?
Now you're bringing back memories.
Tell us how you do it.
That's only us oldies that know would get that reference.
The song nearly got it right. I'd rather Fleetwood Mac than Jack.
Okay.
Well, there was a song I'd rather Jack than Fleetwood Mac, and as soon as it came out, I thought, I don't know about that.
Sheeple, get your bum in. Talk to us. I haven't seen you forever.
Have we heard of Rude Earther before?
Name's familiar.
He's a friend of Ranty's, and Wally's been getting into him.
Oh yes, that Egypt, yeah.
Okay, I probably recognise him when we.
I've heard him speaking in Ranty's cesspit. I mean, hangout. And Rude Earther is quite appropriate.
No, you're absolutely right, Blue. But my video observation is not about changing Flurf's minds. It's about making sure those on the edge don't go over the edge.
And educating us normal people.
Yeah, I mean, it's a piece of data we don't have at the moment, so it's something we can organise and get and do so that we do have that data.
Boggs wants to know.
We know it's possible. We just haven't proven it.
Another super chat.
Thank you,
Pip.
Is this the swear jar or just for cakes? Oh, it's definitely for cakes.
Cakes and
swear
scones.
away. It's my channel and swearing's allowed.
Oh, Hugh just doesn't know that I've got a swear jar for Discord in my channel.
Wait, what? Swearing's allowed? Why did no fucker tell me?
Remember when the F word used to be the worst swear word possible, and now people use it as punctuation?
Yep.
Sometimes some of us always.
Sure, I told you when you were writing that story, don't use the other word.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that used to be not as bad. The lady word.
The F word is the word for all seasons. I mean, it's just so useful.
It fits everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's probably the most expressive word in the English language.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or whatever it is Americans speak.
I wouldn't consider it a swear word nowadays. It's just
American.
In the vocabulary.
Yeah,
really.
I don't consider it a swear word, and yet some people still get upset when you say "damn."
Yeah.
Yes.
My mother. Don't swear.
I was going to say, farmers, have you been speaking to my mother?
To which I'll say, what a load of bollocks.
Yeah.
It was before my time, but apparently the last line of Gone with the Wind made real uproar when when he says, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn."
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah, and because it was, oh damn, you shouldn't say that, So, but it really cemented that movie as people knew what it was all about. That it was something that stuck in their minds.
Yeah. To which of these days the reply be, "Oh, fuck off."
Yes.
That's getting a bit political here.
Is that you, Mr. Sheepy?
How you doing, everyone?
Hi, how are you?
Hi, sheeple.
You found me.
How you doing, Peter?
Been trying to hide, and you still found me.
At least just must have stuck to me if he's found us.
Yeah, I found Pip. I was like, over 1,000 subscribers. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Bloody awesome.
Oh, congratulations.
Well, everyone's stuck at home, see, so they had nothing else better to do.
Exactly.
Pip just got 1,000. No.
At 1,200 and something.
It only feels like yesterday you were 200.
Yeah, so
yes.
a bit, not much.
Well, I remember there was one point when I was on like, I think I was just under 400, and Pip was struggling to get to 300, and saying, "Oh, I wish it had happened now," and she did while I was talking to her, and then now she's way ahead of me.
1,218 today.
All thanks to Mary and her pussy.
Exactly. And people have been stealing it and putting it on their channel. Swine.
Don't forget Brenda's. Don't forget Brenda's beaver.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. That's what I was going to ask you, Pip. I could have been mirroring yours on mine while I'm able to still upload, even though I can't live stream.
Yeah, help yourself. I don't mind if people ask, but taking the whole thing and sticking up. So no, they got letters or whatever YouTube sent out.
Well, I used to mirror Mr. Sensitive's videos, but I forgot. I've been forgetting to do that.
Which Mr. Sensitive? They're all Mr. Sensitive, aren't they?
That always
the real Mr. Sensitive.
Mr. Sensible.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, that guy.
I thought you were talking about a Smurf. They're all sensitive.
I hated how you always get his name wrong.
Well, I think he had a new one last night.
I said it to his face. He doesn't mind.
Yeah, I'm always ready for it, but I can never hold the laugh. And it's the delivery that gets me.
Well, we've got
see,
this
my
video...
my avatar.
Sorry.
So my avatar represents the reaction when I speak to a flurf now.
Is it a face palm?
No, it's like a what?
A what?
What do I do with that?
What?
I've heard some whoppers while I've been away, I tell you. But let's watch the video.
Once again, Blue is spot on with what he's written in the chat in the peanuts. Anyway, but Blue, I'm thinking of people like my daughter, who's 20 years old. She doesn't know much about anything in life generally yet. I mean, she's been educated and everything like that. But when a few years ago, when Flat Earth sort of had a bit of a spike, it was that generation that really fed into that spike. And then eventually, debunkers came in and they figured, oh yeah, it's a load of crap. So people like my daughter is what I'm aiming at. The people who are a bit vulnerable to learning about crap and taking it on as reality. That's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah, the popularity thing, and also the idea that you can just throw everything away. The idea that you're being lied to is quite a powerful tool they use. You know what I mean? Why should I learn that?
Yeah.
Type thing. Yeah, it's terrible.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's rage against the machine. It's rebellion, which happens in every generation, of course.
Gosh, something I haven't listened to in a while.
Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
It's funny. My generation's parents were the hippies, and so my generation was the exact opposite of hippies. And now my children are more the hippies again. So. Because we're all rebelling against each generation.
Makes sense. The idea that they can find faults in the generation before them, so then they don't want to be like that and go their own way without direction, and then we get flirts.
Well, also, YouTube and the internet in general sort of helped that particular spike because that wasn't really there before. And wasn't being paid attention to in the same way because social media has really taken off in the last 10 years. So it's just a perfect storm in that regard. And hopefully with the advent of all the I read Blue Marble Science's comment and then I forgot what I was going to say. I hate it when that happens. See, I am getting old.
Parents weren't hippies.
Well, my parents weren't actually hippies, but they were the sort of the generation, the people in charge,
I suppose mine were born in sort of the mid 40s, so yeah, they would have been that generation. But my parents are always into things like the Stones, so.
Mine were rock and rollers. Mine went into Elvis.
Which I think is why I like rock and heavy metal and stuff like that, because it was. We was always the Stones more than the Beatles household, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We were an Elvis.
Rock than pop.
Yeah.
And Elvis,
Rock and
yeah.
pop rather
Yeah.
than-
Uh-huh. Yeah, pretty mama.
Oh yeah.
Elvis is too fat to leave the building.
No.
Yes.
Oh, thank you very
Have
much.
you been to Memphis, Pip?
Yeah, we went a couple of years ago for our 25th anniversary. Did the tour of Deep South.
Oh, awesome.
And yes, we went to Graceland, and I had a good cry.
Yeah, it's very. When you go to the gravesite, it's quite moving, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. But it's so dated, it's unbelievable.
Yes,
Literally,
it's
you
quite
think, my
amazing.
God, that was fashionable.
Yeah, it's a snapshot, isn't it? It's wonderful.
So are you trying to say, Pip, it's a bit like the burnt orange bench top that my parents used to have in their house?
Yep.
Thick green shag as well.
Yeah.
Nothing much.
Well, actually, they had. I think the splashback was that almost pastel green against the burnt orange bench top, and
big flowery wallpaper and flowery curtains.
well, the doorknobs, the doorknobs were like a glass-looking plastic that were like that
yeah, no,
tiger eye type. Yeah, like Bakelite, but it's oh jeez.
Oh yeah, the height of fashion.
Oh,
the avocado bathroom suite. Oh yeah. But I think ours was.
Oh, and the pastel pink bath.
Yeah, or green or purple.
Yeah.
Avocado or eggplant. Oh god. And the couches, curtained, and carpet were all patterned, so it was like right in your face. Anyway, back to Hugh's video, shall we?
Rude Earth's video. You might as well mute it because it's just music. So.
Oh yeah.
We definitely don't.
Oh, we don't have to listen to his dulcet tones. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he didn't speak on this one. Yes, facepalm. Yeah. Oh, he doesn't really make any conclusions, I guess.
Blue, I won't get that out of my head now.
So there's nothing spoken. Just all music.
Crap music, like that, by the sounds of it.
Yep.
Right, so he's proving that
He's proving that his Google works
that
on
not
his
a
phone.
tripod.
Google his phone. He's proven that his phone
Great.
works.
For starting. There's a very wobbly tripod.
Oh yes, he's the prat who couldn't identify the ships properly, isn't he?
Good grief, Sugarly.
He's the one that Stingray pulled his video to pieces.
Yes, he was either made a big mistake or he was being disingenuous with which ships it actually was.
You mean he was lying? Don't be polite about it. They all lie.
Some of them don't lie on purpose, though.
Like Gleam in his 3D software, where he kept changing the scale of objects to move them. Yeah, that's not how it works, Gleam.
They comment, I spent £1,000 on a camera, but I saved £15 not buying a tripod.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good.
So his point here is that this is half an hour after when the sun was supposedly set, and yet he thinks he can see the sun in the sky, but it's a sundog. It's a refracted image of the sun, which is over the horizon.
Yeah,
as you'll see, because it just disappears. It doesn't set.
You mean it just goes away? Ooh.
That's right. Oh, yes. But it doesn't become an infinitesimal point. It just goes.
Goes. Yes.
Buggers off even.
Sellenhelion. When it just disappears from the middle of the sky.
You mean it just turns off?
Yeah.
Somebody just hit the switch.
In the control room, somebody turns it off. Like, you're right, lads, you can switch it off now.
God forgot to pay his power bill and the power got disconnected.
Well, that's when the fuse blows. That's when the fuse blows, actually. That's small.
Oh.
Oh.
Come on, focus.
Yeah. He does a really good focus, actually. Yeah, he's got a P900. Watch this.
Ooh.
And there, you can even see craters.
Oh.
Look at that.
Oh. See, I would get a P900 just for that.
And seeing they tell you that it's not spherical, it's like, well, that's a spherical.
See, I wouldn't. I'd get a proper.
Yeah. And it's not a light source, is it?
My telescope doesn't zoom as much as that.
Yeah. So if the moon is a light source, have they got any explanation why you only get like a fifth of it lit?
Yeah. Why does the rest of the light switch off? Now, can I just make a point before we move on? Note the orientation of the moon and compare that to my video I took tonight on my live stream of the moon I saw from Brisbane. And it's a completely different orientation because, of course, I'm in the southern hemisphere. He's looking to the south. I'm looking to the north.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you seen the pictures of the moon that Alan and myself have done?
I don't think so, no.
So because Alan's up in the England area up there, and I'm down here in Australia, but we're almost at the opposite ends of the world, as it would be, and it shows very nicely that the different orientation of the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I actually took a shot of the supermoon the other day, and I was talking to 24/7 crowd, and they were like, "We're going to take a photo of the moon." I said, "Oh yeah, take a photo of the moon." So they took a photo of the moon. It was completely reversed, and I put them together and posted it in their live stream chat. It was quite funny.
Mm-hmm.
But it's completely flipped. Same moon, same day, completely flipped.
Note the sundog is gone now, but it didn't set. It just sort of faded out.
Yeah.
So yeah, all he's proven that he's observed a sundog.
Well, I will say this: he has got better camera skills than Travis.
I was just going to say that he's going to show Travis up with that moonshot.
What, like actually getting it in focus? Yeah.
Yeah. So he's proved that the P9. Oh no, Red's already proved that the P900 can focus. It's just Travis can't focus his for some reason.
Well, if you take it off the auto setting, you stand half a chance.
You mean there's settings on a camera?
Yes.
Yeah, that's beyond the Flurf's ability, isn't it?
What, like reading an instruction book that pretty much tells you don't use the automatic focus over things like large bodies of water because it struggles.
Or long distances.
Yes. Use the manual settings.
You do realise that's the first thing they throw away.
What, the instruction book?
Well,
yeah.
Travis claimed he read it, and I beg to differ.
I bet he read the cover and thought, "Puh, stuff that."
Typical man. Don't need instructions.
Then therefore, I am not a typical man. I have in my filing cabinet here in the lower drawer, there are 2 sections that contain nothing but the instruction manuals that come with just about everything I've bought.
Typical Flurf then.
And I'd also like to point out when I bought my camera pip secondhand, because it didn't come with an instruction manual, the first thing I did was actually
download it.
Yes.
Yep.
I've got no end of instruction manuals saved on my computer because I've either lost them or it's something that didn't really come with a decent manual in the first place.
It's quite handy these days. You can get them online.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you always lose the paper ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give Travis the benefit of the doubt though. He might have opened the manual to the middle of the thing to check, what it says. Saw it was in a different language. He said they didn't give me the English one. And then threw it away.
No, he got up to the bit that said insert the battery this way and put the memory card in here. This is where your on switch is. Oh, that's all I need to know. Wonderful.
I have a manual here for my Bose soundbar, and I think it's about 300 pages. Because it's in every language except Swahili, I think. Oh, just put that
I'm
back.
impressed that Flurfs can read.
Oh no.
No, this is going to hurt.
This was great.
Oh, hey,
what happened?
I just found instructions for my table.
You need instructions for a table.
Face palm protection, everyone.
Oh, this is silly French bin, isn't it?
Letitia.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I just noticed it on my notification.
I
I might leave you guys to this one. It was very painful seeing it the first time through. So I'll say good night. I'll keep watching. But
Well, thanks for coming over, Hugh.
Thanks,
no
Hugh.
worries.
Nice
No
meeting
worries.
you.
See you later.
See you again.
See you
Bye.
later. Hugh.
Bye.
Bye. Well, I haven't
Looks
seen
really
this one at
sure
all,
that-
so I've got no idea where to go on this one.
She
Doesn't
looks
look
really
very
sure of
happy.
herself, and
Oh,
she looks really. She looks
I'm
really,
HAPPY.
really sure of what she's about to say.
I'm HAPPY.
I'm not. I've lost my vape. Where is it?
Okay,
Oh.
Quick, you need to talk.
We'll get ready for the start, and then we'll get the introduction of who this person is, and then we'll go.
Oh, because she was a last-minute replacement, wasn't she?
Yeah, that's what it says here on the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because the guy he's going to be debating all week. I don't know what happened to him, but he I don't know whether he. Oh, so I don't. He just didn't turn up. I don't know why.
So this is a replacement.
Yeah.
So it's not this person. Layer 2.
No, that is her. But if you see below that, it says John says he is a real scientist.
Yeah.
It was the John guy who didn't turn up. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Well, that one would have been interesting.
So John's had multiple troubles turning up on anyone's live stream because as soon as they send him a Google or a Meets link, he thinks that they're trying to backdoor his computer and steal all the information off it.
Oh, good grief!
Oh, that person's got real problems then.
How's he ever going to debate anyone then?
Yeah, through Discord. That's it.
Well, I can debate him through Discord because I could just link it through.
Yeah. Just sounds like a pathetic excuse to me.
Hello, John. Rap.
Well, if he's on Discord, we might be able to get him then.
Who's that?
He has to be in a live chat at the time, though.
Yeah.
I'll Yeah, I don't know, Terry. I don't know where he hides.
Funny, I joined the stream.
I'll
before
DM
in the
Craig
chat.
and I'll see what he says.
Oh, wibbly wobbly.
Anyway, we'll
Joined
see
the
who this
stream and
replacement is.
I
Who are
heard
we trying to get? Okay, talk to myself.
Not quite sure what the guy's name is.
Whoa.
Hey, John. No, we weren't talking about you, John. It was another John. I'll play this a little bit.
Maybe to have more to take into account more historical and even experiences and yourself into account, because we are also capable biologically to notice whether we are at rest or in movement, in motion.
Okay, now, when I say that we can measure the motion of the Earth, I'm not being hyperbolic. That is quite an easy thing to do. Have you heard of fiber optic gyroscopes, for instance?
Yeah, a simple mechanical gyroscope.
No, not a mechanical gyroscope. A light-based gyroscope that doesn't have the confines of things like friction.
Of course, I've heard of this kind of gyroscope. It doesn't mean that the conclusion stating that Earth below our feet is in fact in motion to be held true. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, there are also other experiences which we can confront to just one.
This reminds me of that 15 degrees something guy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, that's him. Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Bob.
Craig will probably play
example taken apart, such as the gyroscope, as you mentioned.
Okay, so
contradict the conclusions you wish to come to, you know.
Okay, so the thing about a gyroscope is there is only one conclusion that can come from it. And if you're looking at what a gyroscope does from an objective standpoint, that is register movement of what it is on. So if we have a gyroscope that is on the Earth and it is showing that the Earth is moving, what other conclusion could we draw from that?
You can draw other conclusions, such as that we are in an enclosed environment, and it is ruled by other forces, which we know about as well, which are electromagnetic forces. So these forces, electromagnetic, have been studied by outside of mainstream philosophy, because it's just a theory that we would be in motion, turning about ourselves.
Didn't she try to connect philosophy with science to do with electromagnetics?
Yes.
Yes, she's trying to rule out everything else and then claim that it's all electromagnetics.
Yeah, but it's not a philosophical. That's not a philosophical.
No, she's trying to call it all just a theory anyway. You know,
so
just...
I think she may be one of these ones that gets the whole use of the word theory as and a theory that the way that we use it in everyday speech. You know, she gets those two uses of the word confused.
Yeah, it's true, because a lot of the fluffs do just say it's just a theory, though. You know, and it's like, no, it's not.
That's not what it means in science.
Yeah, exactly. Scientific theory is
and
a
this
level.
person English doesn't sound like it's her first language too, so that would
Oh
make
no,
things
she's
a little
French
bit
or
difficult.
Italian.
Whatever makes you think of that theory.
No, careful.
Well, English is not your first. English is not your first language either, Sheepy.
No, I'm fluent in gibberish. First and foremost.
Play.
Well,
cells rotating.
Oh, did you want to add? Did you?
No, never.
Okay.
And also around the sun. But the sun, any kid can go outside and witness the sun go above head from east to west.
Yeah.
So I understand the great controversy regarding the whole heliocentered, not heliocentric, because the barocenter, it's slightly off center. The sun is not.
Yeah, that's correct. The barycenter of the solar system is about 2 million miles away from the center of the sun.
Yeah, hypothetically.
Yeah.
So,
again, these are things that we can measure, and it's all good and well thinking hypothetically, but when you
measure, no, but that's not the correct term, because measuring it would be with a ruler and you go measure the thing. Yeah.
No, you can use many.
Oh dear.
I heard this one once before, a while back, about the measure argument. How do you measure something? With a tape measure. Oh, okay.
Hey, farmers, can you just grab this end of my tape measure so I can measure the earth, please?
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Yeah, but measurements are not
always
done
measure.
with a tape measure.
I'll get in the plane. I'll get in the plane, fly. You hold the tape measure.
Like how do you
do that thing?
And sew them together.
Like how do you measure?
Don't do that thing where you let it go and it comes flying back at me really fast.
Like how do you measure? How do you measure the amount of liquid you need to bake a cake or something or whatever? You don't use a tape measure,
obviously. No, you use a tape measure.
Oh, okay.
There are many tools to measure something. You don't have to just use a ruler. You can measure many things. You can measure time. You can't measure time with a ruler. You need a specific tool to measure time.
That's it, and that's a man-made tool, which is called the clock. But it's just a basic.
So is a ruler, right?
To give you. it's not always been calculated. Time passing was not always calculated with the 360-degree watch and divided in 12 hours and 24 hours.
No,
It
you're right.
wasn't always
I mean,
so in the course of history, you know.
The particular units that we put time into are a man-made device, and I mean, when you look at what the second is, when you break it down into milliseconds and everything, it's based on the Planck length and stuff. But you know, it's a way for us to measure the passage of time. So it's a tool that we have to use a stopwatch or a clock to measure the passage of time. But it doesn't mean that to measure the distance to the sun, you would have to use a ruler. There's other tools that we can use to do that measurement.
Like
now,
math, like mathematics.
Mathematics is a very good tool
to make in the case of the heliocentered model, to make hypothetical measurements based on a lot of hypotheses at the beginning to begin with.
Yeah, but all the hypotheses have been verified by experimentation, and that's where we need to start with a basis from. And that's why I was trying to get to the point of what if we know how a fiber optic gyroscope works, then we can reach a conclusion based on that. So you and I both know that when
you base it on other assumptions.
What
it's
assumptions?
Like going back in history and calling onto Eratosthenes,
yeah,
who postulated first thing that Earth may be a sphere, but other philosophies postulate that the Earth has no motion and start from there.
Okay.
So I don't see what the problem is.
The thing is, okay. So the point I was trying to make about
studies are interesting to look into as well, contradicting the model accepted by consensus.
Okay.
But never truly based on the lessons of the past.
Let's focus on something physical that we can get behind, and that is the function of a gyroscope and the way that it actually works. If we know how something works, then we know what it's going to do. Do you know how a fiber optic gyroscope measures movement?
Yeah, I told you it's like the Foucault pendulum. It could be due to other forces such as electromagnetism.
And that's part of the point. A fiber optic gyroscope uses light, which would not be affected by electromagnetism, because light doesn't have a charge. Light's charge is zero. It's not positive.
Yeah, maybe you can compare it with various instruments.
Yeah, absolutely. You can. There's a lot more instruments to compare it with. But the actual function of a fiber optic gyroscope is very important.
Nick Michelson was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1907 for his various optical instruments.
Mm-hmm.
And light was in play as well.
A lot.
So you can't
come
with a rather modern instrument like the laser gyroscope today, and obliterate any other instrument contradicting the point you wish to make to defend a theoretical model in the end.
Okay, so I think what's important is to understand actually how a light-based gyroscope measures rotation. All right, can you just bear with me for 1 second while I show you this? Right. You should see that my screen now. You see that?
No, I don't even see yourself actually.
If you click on my box, it should have a video, a blue and white thing in it. If you click on my box in the corner, it should bring that up.
Yeah, I got it. Okay.
Right. Okay. So this is how a fiber optic gyroscope works. That blue box fires a laser. Okay, and when it hits that diagonal white line, it splits the laser into two paths. Now, if the gyroscope isn't moving, so if it's on something that is stationary, the time that the light takes to travel the two paths will be exactly the same. And when the light recombines, it will show that there's no interference in the light. However, if the gyroscope is physically moving, what happens is it reduces the time that the light takes to travel one of the paths, meaning that when the light recombines, getting back to the laser, it will show up as an interference in the light waves, and you can measure that interference as a drift, in rotational drift. And every single one of these gyroscopes in the world, as soon as you turn them on, they instantly start registering that there is a movement with no external forces being applied to it. And it's a self-contained unit. It can't see the sky. It's not aware of anything else around it. Okay, it purely.
You just stated that you have to give it the motion yourself, as
yeah. Well, that's just demonstrating. That's just demonstrating that if it is moving, that's what you will show. But when you turn these gyroscopes on in real life, you don't. You automatically see that they show that they're moving. You don't have to move them. You could just put them on the floor in front of you, and they will show that they are moving at 15 degrees per hour, which is...
Oh, we know how that all works, so... I don't think she's got much... further here.
Are not changing, non-changing constants. One of them is the speed of light. Another one is the gravitational constant. Another one is Coulomb's constant, I believe is.
By scientific consensus, I agree.
Right.
With that.
So a constant is really a way. A constant is just a way of quantifying a certain amount of something. So, for instance, if you say how many feet are in a mile, right? Well, you're quantifying a mile by saying it's a certain number of feet. You're saying a foot is going to represent a certain amount, and how much of this certain amount is in a mile. So a constant is your quantification. So when we say there's 5,280, I think it is, feet in a mile, I could be wrong, 5,280 I believe is what it is, but when we say there's 5,280 feet in a mile, well, that the feet really becomes the constant there. It's what helps you get between your measuring, you're measuring of something to, the total amount of what you're measuring. So the gravitational constant really just helps us quantify the gravitational field and gravitational forces.
You presume, for example, that the sun is located some 150 million kilometers away from Earth, okay? And you calculate it by saying it takes 8 minutes to come to light Earth because it is located 150, which you cannot verify and which you can observe.
So yes, you can verify that.
When you're going outside and look at how it behaves.
Okay, so
it's available for anyone to go outside, isn't it?
Are you familiar with trigonometry?
Sure.
Okay, so would you say that trigonometry is true? It's simply talking about triangles and circles and whatnot. So would you agree that trigonometry is sound?
It is correct. Trigonometry.
Okay, great. So if we can use the position of Venus, and we can use trigonometry to determine the distance to the sun, what is your problem with that?
Already a lot of speculation because you assume that it's this far.
No, we use trigonometry. We use trigonometry. We don't make any assumptions. We use trigonometry.
Because I am also aware of my own self. I can't possibly see anything placed that far. My eyes are limited,
No, they're not. No, they're not.
You can see the sun, Mrs.
Well, what is it limiting? What, hold on. No. Do you think? Right. So, how do you think an object in the distance is limited to your eyes? How do you think your eyes limit you from seeing the planet Venus, for instance? Because we see the planet Venus. It's one of the brightest objects in the sky, and you yourself can see this. So,
the eyesight, the human eyesight,
Okay, so you're
are
saying the
capable of
photon.
seeing a circle around yourself, a 360-degree circle around your own self, but you have to move your
What's the
head
limiting
to
factor,
see
though?
the circle.
What
No,
stops
You have
us
to
okay.
seeing
turn
any
around
further?
yourself. When your sight is fixed, when you're looking at a point, a fixed point, it's only reduced to a cone leading to a vanishing point. A cone from your
All right.
eyes, 120 degrees of opening close to your eyes, leading to a vanishing point, a cone of vision. You know? So you can't see as far as Venus is pretended with trigonometry.
Why can't you?
To be this far? Because you can't
still-
see.
you
After this
just-
cone is
yes,
finished,
I
you
understand
see
that,
nothing.
Listen, I understand that you say that you can't see it, but if the object is bright enough, what is keeping you from seeing it?
They are not.
No matter how
they
far
are
away.
not objects. They are lights. Why
No
do
matter,
you call them objects?
proof? Do you have any proof? Because we can pull out a telescope and see it.
The telescope is not telling you if it's something of texture. I'm sorry.
Astrophotography is a thing.
Would you like to see
And
a
the
photo of the sun that one of my friends has taken?
Is going to work on the same
then
principle as the
Letty, let me
human
ask you this question
eyesight.
then, Letty, let me ask you this question then, okay? Because we can use our cosmological model to predict when. Hold on, hear me out. We can use our cosmological model to predict when Venus will, from our perspective, move in front of the sun. It's called the Venus traversal of the sun. Now, we can use our model to predict when this is going to happen and where it's going to happen at, and we can train our telescopes to witness this event. If Venus is just a light in the sky, how is it crossing in front of the sun and blocking out a portion of the sun, which is measurable, by the way? How is this possible?
Because they are not only lights, but they are images. So an image can cross another image.
Where's your proof of this? I mean, this is a lot of speculation. You're just saying a lot of things.
This is the proof that you're posting.
We actually can
this is
predict
just the proof you've just posted. I'm just explaining to you what this is. So you allegedly say, my eyes can see forever, nearly, anything that is lighted.
Yeah, they can see forever. There's no, as long as the object is bright enough, as long as the object, it's not a limit of distance. It's a limit. You're not limited by distance. You're limited by the number of photons that your photon receptors or your eyes can process and consider a process.
You're taking the problem the other way around.
I did a bit of study on this recently, Letty, if I could.
It's your eyes that has a limit first, and take this into account as a first step. You're inverting the process
Letty,
by stating that whichever the distance the objects are located, I can see it because it's the number of photons that come into my eye. But my eye, I don't take into account that it's limited. First thing, I mean, I only see, if I fix my vision somewhere onto a point, I see only a cone. It's a cone of vision, and it's limited to a maximum distance.
Okay, Letty, if I could, the thing you're saying about eyesight is incorrect. Light comes to our eyes because light travels.
That's what you learned at school.
No, we know that light travels. There's entire sectors of industry based around
it.
And we couldn't be talking the way that we are right now if we didn't understand how light travels.
Our vision is limited, and you can't see forever.
No, that's the thing. As long as, and I did a bit of study on this recently, and as long as there is 7 individual photons hitting your eye, you will be able to see light. Now, that means as long as light is traveling towards you, you will be able to see the light. There isn't a limit as to how far light can travel. So if light travels forever and you see that light, the light hits your photon receptors in your eyes, that means that you can see forever, however long the light has traveled. You don't
Big
have a limit to your
statement.
vision.
I'm not
and
agreeing.
when you say about limit to your vision, within our atmosphere, there can be limiting factors because of the atmospheric haze or whatever, and people's eyesight can be a limiting factor. You know, if you have problems seeing, then you're just going to see a blur rather than a pinpoint light. But it's a fact that light travels, and because light travels and we have photon receptors, we can see however far the light has traveled.
Yes, and it doesn't mean that it's very far either.
But you disagreed with me that trigonometry is sound. But
lights
Letty,
in the sky are
but
close
Letty,
to you.
You just agreed with me that trigonometry is sound. Now, observational science, I mean observations, when we go out and we make observations of the planet Venus and the sun and its traversal and all of these things that we can see from the surface of Earth, we would either have to do, hold on, but hold on, we would have to either redefine trigonometry or we would have to accept that the planet is up there and the sun is 93 million miles away. Those are the two things that you would have to come to. Those are the only
what is witnessed above head are objects, physical objects. You assume planets are objects, and you assume Earth is also a planet.
They are. We've landed on Mars. We put a rover on Mars.
You can assume it all you like, but they are not.
Is she sort of getting to that nah sort of attitude all the time?
Very much so, Terry.
I think she's there to teach them. She won't even let them talk.
Yeah, they're trying to explain, but she's cutting them off all the time.
I wonder what her job is. She's very school teachery.
Yeah. Okay.
Christ, I hope not.
Or something to do with the gym.
Well, one good thing in her favour, I suppose, she can argue in English. I would have a hard job arguing in English.
I mean, the Flat Earth and Team Skeptic have the answer right there when she makes a statement.
We need timestamps. Timestamps.
Yeah, I know. We haven't got any timestamps for this.
I posted a link also from Everett Anderson's latest video. It just popped up in my notifications. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but
yeah, I don't want to flood Pip's channel too much.
No, carry on. Do you like? Right. It's all the usual crowd out here. There's no visitors.
Oh yeah, but I can see people in your peanut gallery that we don't know. Well, I don't know anyway.
No, there was only one earlier, but we know everybody else. Everyone's got blues, I know.
Yeah, who is this Mippet character?
Yeah, apart from that one.
Heat Shield and John Rapp, who's he? I don't know.
John Rapp, Heat Shield, no. Never heard of him.
No.
Carl
Edwards,
no.
Who's that Pipe
Dora,
Parrot? Who is that Pipe Parrot character?
Bo Nelson, never heard of them. Who else is there? John Stock, no, I don't know him. TGK2K, I don't know who they are.
Other than the Earth is in fact moving because I see the instrument moving. The instrument is moving under a stationary Earth. Why can't I conclude in this way?
Today we get to play with Foucault's pendulum.
Because you need to explain things that happen, right? You need to explain why the pendulum drifts, for instance.
Comparing with, I don't know, for example, the famous Michelson interferometer.
Yeah.
That's one example, but there are other experiments.
But let me tell you something. Before you make the mistake of trying to bring up the Michelson-Morley experiment, they detected motion.
No, I'm not making a mistake. I'm just saying.
No, they detected motion. I know you're going to say, hold on, you're going to say they detected no motion of the ether, but they did detect motion of the ether. They detected a motion on several tests of between 1 and 10 kilometers per second. It was still a ridiculous idea to believe that the ether was moving at even 1 kilometer per second or 10 kilometers per second with the Earth around the sun. They did not, they knew that was a ridiculous concept. That was the only conclusion that would have led to their results if the ether existed. The ether would have had to move with the Earth around the sun. That was their conclusion. That's why they go, no, it's a null conclusion. It's a null, it matched the null hypothesis, and it's the most famous incorrect experiment of all, the most famous failed experiment of all time, because it led what they detected, they realized that
Lottie, a sec. Hold on.
They realized from their measurements that the concept of the ether was erroneous. They didn't come to the conclusion that the Earth.
No, that's another conclusion. I don't agree.
No, that's what
that was their conclusion.
Nicholson Morley came to that conclusion.
Their conclusion.
You understand that? They're the experimenters. You can't come to their conclusion for them, okay?
Yeah.
You're not a scientist. They are. They put the work and the education and everything into understanding what they were doing. You didn't. You can't come to an conclusion.
It's too easy to say. We are not the scientists. We can't conclude. We have the ability, the intellectual ability, you and me and your other chap here, we have the ability intellectually to agree or disagree with what has been agreed.
If you are disagreeing, no, like Lottie, right, you can disagree, but if you're disagreeing, you need to give us a solid reason to disagree with the experimenter's results.
Yeah, there are others. I just mentioned Michelson, and which he did with Morley.
Yeah.
But there are others. I don't have them in mind right
Gail
now.
Pearson, for instance, who also detected motion.
Yeah, there are several.
Airy's failure, which completely failed to detect
as you
an ether.
also forget this crucial point, there is also yourself. You are part of this system. So you have to account for your own biology.
No,
That's
you
nothing
don't.
to do with a pendulum.
Motion or
we have
non-motion.
machines that can take these measurements for us that have no bias whatsoever.
Yeah.
You need to, you can deny all you want, but you still need to explain why we get these observations. I was just showing a video, I don't know if you saw it in the Hangouts there, of a guy who individually did his own Foucault experiment with,
Yeah, other explanation I told you, I believe this realm which we share is enclosed and ruled by electromagnetic forces. So you can also act on
it's objectively not.
Showing
like a pendulum. You can act on it as well.
I want to ask you the same question I asked the guy last night. Okay. I want you to think about what I'm saying, because it's a simple way to see something. Okay. There's two observations I want you to visualize, and we'll do them one at a time. The first one is if a plane flies over your head, and as you watch it fly away, the distance that it travels angularly, okay, it's from your perspective, will decrease with time. So the first minute it will travel a certain amount of degrees from directly overhead. The second minute it won't travel as many degrees. The third minute it will travel even less degrees, and so on and so on and so on. That's perspective, okay? Now, when we watch the sun get closer to us and then get further away, it always maintains a constant speed of 15 degrees per hour. If we say if it's close to us, like the plane is close to us, as in it's enclosed in the system, then it shouldn't move at 15 degrees per hour for everybody. It should move at 15 degrees per hour for the person that it is directly below.
Do you have in mind, sorry to cut you, do you have in mind this stupid circle model with lights circling around the North Pole? Because if you have that in mind, of course, your discourse, I agree with you. I mean, I can join your
then
team
what is
of,
the sun then? Understood. Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Then what is the sun?
The motion of the sun is east-west, and there are
No. What is the sun? What is the sun made of? What are we looking at when we look at the sun?
What is it made of? Something electric, something to do with electricity.
What evidence do you have of that?
Its nature is electric. It's a light.
How do we see the photons coming off of it then, when we don't see photons coming from like our electric socket?
You see photons? What do you say?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Why do we see photons coming from the sun, but we don't see photons coming from like our electric socket or something? Anything electrical.
Yeah, if it's electric, why does it make light?
If it's electric, why does it make light?
That's what he just asked.
Yeah, if it's not something physical that's undergoing a process of fusion, which ultimately, releases a photon, which we know this is to be science, whether the Earth is flat. Hold on. Whether the Earth is flat or round, we do know that fusion causes photons to be released. Okay, so we look up in the sky, we see the sun, we see photons coming from it, and we see evidence of nuclear fusion in the sun. Okay, with neutrinos.
No, that's your interpretation.
No,
There's
it's
no
not.
nuclear fusion.
No, it is not an interpretation.
Nuclear
No,
fusion.
it
It
is
doesn't have
not
anything
an
to do with.
interpretation. It is absolutely fusion, and you can't prove otherwise. If you can, I'd be more than happy to hear your
I'm
evidence.
sorry, you can't prove that. It's
Do
your
you have
belief.
evidence to suggest that it's not fusion? Hold on. Do you have evidence to suggest that it's not fusion, or are you simply taking the anti-science position?
No, I mean, you can, showing me this picture, for example, you can interpret so you're talking about a little white stuff coming out. That's it? That's what you call fusion?
No, there is other
I guess.
better,
That's plasma.
better images, though.
Fusion happens in the center.
Center? What center? That's only a guess. What?
No, it's science. It's science.
Hey, Lottie. You remember how? Lottie, one sec. Lottie, one sec. Lottie, one second. Chill. Lottie,
there's no center. You assume,
Can you hear me?
very far from view, and you assume it's a ball as well, isn't it? Because it's got a center.
Lottie,
so
1 second.
That's a lot of assumptions in just
Lottie,
two sentences.
just stop 1 second and listen,
I'm telling you, it's not the nature of the physical body.
Lottie, please, just give me a second, right? Remember earlier how you were talking about radar and team's job was to work with radar? Well, I'm a nuclear engineer, right? That means I understand nuclear physics. So if you're saying that that's not fusion, then you're going to need to explain certain things like why we can detect the remnants of nuclear fusion coming from the sun.
That's another assumption.
No, it's absolutely not.
Well, it's not. It doesn't put the sun 150 million kilometers
That's
away.
not what we're talking about at the moment. Don't change the subject, Lottie.
Irrelevant.
You're trying to say that. Yeah, you're trying to say the sun isn't nuclear fusion, right? Then you are going to need to explain all the byproducts of nuclear fusion that we can detect coming from the sun. Gamma rays, alpha rays, X-rays, microwaves, infrared and ultraviolet radiation. All these things which are what you would expect to get from a massive ball of nuclear fusion. So why can we detect the remnants of nuclear fusion? Why can we detect the remnants of nuclear fusion if nuclear fusion isn't happening?
I'm not confused. I'm not confused at all.
I'm not saying you're confused. I'm asking why can we detect the remnants of nuclear fusion?
The term astrophysics was first
irrelevant. I need to answer the question. Right? The question is why can we detect nuclear fusion resonance?
Sorry, you can't assume like you say nuclear fusion. So if I understand the term you're using now, I have to assume that all the things we watch into the sky are very far away and they are physical or gaseous bodies. You know, some place we can physically reach eventually.
Well, the fact that you can't accept that isn't my issue. I am just presenting you with the facts. And the facts are that we can detect remnants of nuclear fusion coming from the sun. That means that it has to be a ball of nuclear fusion.
Or you could explain why we have the remnants of nuclear fusion with no nuclear fusion involved, instead of just saying nuh-uh.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have to. Maybe you have a false paradigm regarding the sun.
Well, I would like to make an observation here, Lottie. Every time we say that we know something, like when Fight says that he has education and experience in the nuclear engineering field, when I tell you I have an education and experience, hold on, hear me out. I'll give you a chance to talk. When I tell you that I have an education and experience, like field experience working with the education I received in radar technology, which involves the speed of light, by the way. It's dependent upon the speed of light. And then we say that there's all these other scientists who have made these observations, including ones that you've brought up. The only thing you have done is taken the contrary point to anything we've brought up and said that we're making an assumption.
I just showed you another way to perceive and another perspective.
When are you going to give evidence of your denial to support why you deny everything?
Yeah, you're just going, I don't believe it without a reason.
Assumptions. And the term astrophysics did not come into modern vocabulary until 1934.
You mean when there started to be astrophysicists? Yeah, probably. Do you know that quantum physics wasn't a term until, like, I believe somewhere around 1909 or maybe late?
We'll jump a foot. We'll do another jump.
Maybe it's best put chipmunk mode on.
Oh, here's a good one.
What the hell was I invited into?
Oh, there's nothing's happening here. Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see. Move along. Move along. We're all
You mean like Lottie, put the blinkers on and just ignore everything?
Yeah.
I took over Pip's channel because we were bored.
Sounds like a more useful way to spend the day then.
Yep.
All right.
God knows how many notifications went out before we actually got it going.
Oh, look out, we're in
here.
trouble now. Alan's found us.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Morning, Alan.
Shh, don't tell Alan.
Yeah, don't tell Alan.
Don't tell Alan?
Don't tell Alan. No, don't tell Alan.
Okay. Don't tell Alan.
How come I'm getting an echo?
I don't know. Why are you getting an echo?
You haven't got your speakers on, have you, Alan?
No, I've got this.
You playing with your potato?
Yeah, I had the speakers on. I'm glad everybody's streaming. It makes our life a lot easier for me, because I'm pretty sure most of the people who would be expecting to watch my premiere at 1:15 will be here to hear my announcement. I'm afraid it's until probably tomorrow.
Oh, okay. That's a shame.
Mostly because I haven't got it finished yet. Sorry, guys.
No,
I was going to guess that.
excuse of all.
I was going to guess that because of the conversation we had yesterday about it. You said you hadn't done it.
And here we had them all rounded up in a pile ready for you.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Well, you know, it's I'm in the middle of editing the video. And it's turning out to be a little more than I was planning on.
Yeah, but you've done the hard part. You've actually made the video. Now you just got to edit it.
I've recorded me talking at the camera.
Yeah.
And I've grabbed a load of grabbed a load of photographs to illustrate points.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've just got to mix it all together.
Okie dokie.
Night, Roger Rabbit.
Oh, Roger Rabbit's gone.
My Pokemon trainer friend.
We seem to be having fun with this new dirt person we found, Alan? It was on Fight the
Which
Flat Earth.
person is that?
I can't even, what's her name?
Something?
Laletia or something?
Lottie?
Letitia, yeah.
I don't know. I can't pronounce it.
Lottie. Is it Lottie?
No,
Yeah.
some French.
Because I know they were talking.
Letitia.
Ah, I thought it was Lottie because I remember that we spoke about it last night on the Veterans Show with.
Okay.
Oh,
I got a super chat. Thank you, John Rapp. He says, "What does this button do? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh shit! Don't push buttons."
Oh, Sean Smith found you.
Morning, Sean. Afternoon. No, morning.
No, it's afternoon.
Yeah. No, for him it'll be morning.
Yeah, but here in real time, it's afternoon.
Yeah, that's true. Mad in my clock. I've got USA, Aussie, and local time. So that's clever.
Yes,
thanks again, John.
If I touch the clock on my mobile phone, it tells me the time in Austin, Sydney, and Miami.
I've just got Aussie or USA.
So that covers Eastern, Central, and that part of Oz.
7:48 somewhere.
Miami.
21:48 somewhere.
Oh. It's 7:48 in the morning for Jose.
Okay, so we've got Florida time. Cool. Right.
Time's just a concept. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, whatever.
Time is an illusion. Lunchtime doubly so.
Who said that?
Douglas Adams.
Of course.
Actually, it was Ford Prefect, to which Arthur Dent said, Reader's Digest has sections just for people like you.
Now it looks like we might get...
Oh, that looked like Nathan Thompson at the end there.
That'll be.
Is that just the memes?
Yeah, that'd be.
Yeah, just memes.
Yeah, I was just looking to see how much we had left. I'd say this might be the last bit.
Have you ever heard of a geodesic surveyor?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, how come they measure the curve of the Earth
sure.
all the time?
She seems to say that every time you ask her about what something is, she goes, yeah, sure. And then when you go to talk to her about it, she's got no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, they all do that. Oh, yeah, you explain something to them and they go, oh, yeah, like they knew that all along. You think you didn't know that 5 minutes ago. Don't pretend.
No, the measure they calculate. If you wanted to,
are you saying they're wrong?
Measure, you can
are you saying that they're wrong?
Are you measuring?
Wait, are you saying every geodesic surveyor in the world is wrong?
It's horizontal. It's
not. Woman.
Come on, Lottie. You're not giving any answers here. You're just going nuh-uh, even though we've got measurements and we can show you pictures and everything that you want. We have the evidence that the Earth is curved. Is there any evidence that it's flat?
It may have convinced you, but when I search myself,
What have you searched? What have you searched?
Whether Earth
YouTube videos,
movement, or whether Earth is fixed, and I came to the conclusion using Occam's razor that it's more logical.
Then you misused Occam razor because for the flat Earth to be real, you have to make far too many assumptions.
And many other researchers from the past, even in Greece, even in and crisscrossing all the information. I think it's more reasonable to.
Or you denied a lot of science without having a science.
Yeah, you've just made so many assumptions. Like, you've misused Occam's razor because you've made so many assumptions, whereas our model does not require assumptions because it has explanations for everything that are empirically backed up with evidence.
A model, as you said. So a model is man-made. It's not man-made.
Flurf guys, if you're playing Flurf Bingo, I'm pretty sure someone's got it by now, right? Come on, like, you're being extremely disingenuous and just throwing a bunch of flat Earth terms around that don't mean anything. What if I showed you a picture of the curve?
It's not flat Earth terms. I told you, I'm not calling the Earth flat.
Yeah, I know. I know you're saying that you're not a
Are
flat
you
earther.
even calling the Earth Earth? You know, I mean, have you denied that? Science, hold on. Science has named our planet Earth. Are you prepared to deny that as well?
Earth
Because
is
you
not
denied
Earth is not
everything so
planet.
far.
That's wrong to
So
say.
you are
Earth
denying it.
is a planet.
Okay,
Earth
great.
is not a
Why
planet.
not? You
Earth
already
is
denied
not
everything else.
counting
Why
within.
not?
All right, Lottie.
Because I'm looking into the roots of words, and
You
this
ain't
word
looking
planet
anywhere.
does not mean Earth. Earth never counted within the planets. It's only recent and modern.
I
No,
honestly think
so
you
long
have a conclusion written
maybe
down in your
you
book,
lack
in your
some,
journal, and
some
every page afterwards is a
evidence
page of evidence supporting your conclusion.
Yeah. All right. Let's break this down to
I don't have to convince you, but
No. You don't have to convince us, but you need to explain things. Like, do you see the picture on screen now that I'm showing you?
No, you need to discover for yourself.
No,
whether
we've done all the discovering. We've done everything flat Earth has
you don't need
asked.
explanations. I'm
But
just
this,
one of your peers, you know.
if the Earth isn't
I'm
a
not better
globe,
than
then
you. I'm not
Lottie, come on, stop.
Above you or nothing.
Lottie, right? If the Earth is the globe, if the
Tell
Earth
me,
isn't a
Labush.
globe, then pictures like this need to be explained, right?
Sorry?
If the Earth isn't a globe, then
Yeah.
pictures like this need to be explained, because this outright demonstrates 100% that the Earth is a globe. Okay? The camera height and the top of those bridges are 210 meters above sea level.
You are convinced.
What?
It doesn't mean that everyone has the same conviction as you do.
I don't care. The facts don't care about convictions.
No, I don't care. What you take as facts is not necessarily taken as facts for
facts don't care if you think they're facts or not. Facts are just facts.
I don't care.
Look into more history, maybe.
It doesn't matter.
Because in the
Facts,
course of history,
facts don't
there
stop
are
being facts because you don't like them, Lottie.
valuable people. I can mention, for example, Tycho Brahe, who was a geocentrist.
Mm-hmm.
In the course of history, there are also names that have been left apart. You know,
Cool.
not,
and in 2024, we're going to put a permanent manned base on the moon. And then Elon Musk wants 1 million people on Mars by 2050. Who cares about what people in the past might have thought? Because they've been demonstrated to be wrong.
It's not a physical place to reach Mars.
But it absolutely is. Someone should really tell Elon Musk that then, because he's putting a fucking lot of money into that.
You realize that the only reason you're able to hold on, Letty, hold on. You do realize, hold on, Letty, listen.
Allowing you to make things. Okay, the more money you have, the more things you can do. It doesn't mean it's true. What do you fucking argument with?
Listen. You're saying Tycho Brahe thinks that was a geocentric, right? Oh Lord.
Elon Musk doesn't care. He just cares about fundraising. You know, it's just a little boy's dream.
Who gives a fuck what he cares about? He is not the end-all authority on what the truth is and what science states.
Do you believe
if space isn't real, then a lot of what Elon Musk does needs to be explained.
Like what?
Like, I don't know, being pretty much the sole fucking way of supplying the International Space Station over the past 5-10 years from American soil.
You do realize that your connection to the internet has progressively gotten better and better and better, right? Like, our understanding of online communication in the 1990s was not as good as it is in the 2000s, which is not as good as it is in the 2010s, and then the 2020s is even better. Now, why would you think that same progression should not apply to astronomy? Why, when Tycho Brahe believed it was a geocentric universe, the person who studied his observations came to the conclusion that it was a heliocentric universe, and then the people beyond that came to Copernicus? Kepler? I'm sorry, Kepler? Johannes Kepler?
He knew that it
Kepler was
wasn't a perfect circle.
Not Copernicus, Kepler, I'm sorry.
Tycho Brahe, a pupil.
Yeah, it was Tycho Brahe.
had an accident. Oh, he had an illness when he was very young, and he was half blind. He did not observe anything. He took all.
He took Brahe's. Okay, so what? If he would have looked up in the sky and he did his own observations. Hold on. If he would have looked. Hold on, Letty. Let me finish. If he would have been able to see, I'm assuming that. Listen, Letty. Listen. I'm assuming what you're saying right about his blindness is true. Okay. If he didn't look up, if he was able to look up into the sky, are you telling me he would have came to a different observations than Tycho Brahe did? The same observations we make today? They're the same observations. He took Brahe's observations and showed that it was not the sun moving around the earth, but that it was the earth going around the sun. That is what Kepler showed from Brahe's observations. And then Newton came along and said,
no, he took the model and he applied what Brahe observed. He did not observe. I told you he was.
Who cares whether he observed it or not? It doesn't matter. Brahe's observations.
Yes, but you're taking the historical event
and laying them out in front of you to show that that science progresses as history moves forward, as time moves forward. Yes, it does it in everything. It does it in technology. It does it in science. Yes, it fucking does. Yes, it does. We had a belief system.
I'm not cleverer today than they were before.
Yeah, we are.
I didn't say that. First off, I didn't say that. But what I did say is that we've built on previous observations, previous sciences. Are you saying that Are you saying that the online communications of the 1990s are more superior than the online communications of today? And if not, why not? Because they've built one step at a time from the 1990s moving forward and have progressed in that understanding and the science behind it. Same thing has happened in astronomy. Tycho Brahe was 1990s internet. Kepler was after that. Newton was after that. Until we get to today. That's why
centric and now not. About any other lessons from previous experiments or...
They
even
just
now,
build upon each other.
You have researchers in the electric universe, so it has not much to do with.
We call those researchers idiots.
Ding.
Idiots.
Yeah, we call all of you science deniers idiots.
Yeah, if you're a science denier, you're an idiot.
What science? You're defending a church.
No, we're not.
You know?
No, I'm not. I don't just believe what they tell me. Why would I do that?
Awesome.
Yeah, that's
why would I believe? Why would I just believe what I saw on the internet? Yeah.
Laws. You assume certain things are laws. You assume your perspective cannot be wrong because the majority thinks.
No, nothing to do with the majority. It's the overwhelming abundance of evidence.
Never mind.
Okay. Letty, let me ask you a question. When it comes to like the law of gravitational attraction, okay, that's a law. It's a science law. I'm sure you. Hold on. I'm not arguing that law with you. I'm not arguing the existence of that law. I'm just saying this is. Hush. Listen to the question before you start defending the wrong question. I'm not even asking you about that. I'm saying that we have built this law not based on biases, not based on personal observations, but based on objective reality. When we take an accelerometer, which has no bias built into it, okay, and we place it on the ground, it registers a 9.8 meters per second acceleration towards the ground. Why? There's no human involved, nobody to say this is what happened, this is why it happened. The thing just registers it. Why?
I think she may have.
The thing is, you're defending a whole model. You hiding behind what you call science with a big S.
You didn't answer my question.
Like a church.
You didn't answer my question. You can't say it's a religion. Gosh, let me give you an example of a religion, okay? Let me give you an example of a religion. You read a book that says a God exists. You say, I've never seen a God. There's no way that any person could ever validate that this God exists, but I choose to believe it. That's a religion. Hold on. That is a religion. When I tell you, I believe that there's 9.8 meters per second. hold on. When I tell you there's a 9.8 meters per second downward acceleration that's due to mass attracting other masses. And I've seen for my own eyes experimentation and demonstrations of mass attracting mass. That means I have evidence to back up what I believe. It is not a belief system. It is something that is backed by empirical observation.
No, there's no empirical evidence.
Oh, there is. You just deny it.
I believe in.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, the vulgarizator, he's telling it. There's no way to explain what this force really is.
It doesn't mean it doesn't. Just because we can't explain it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
The radius of the Earth. Come on, it's an assumption.
Okay, so there was a time when we didn't know that bacteria existed. Letty. There was a time when we didn't know that bacteria existed.
And it worked.
Right, stop. Letty. You are displaying every flat Earth quality, including not being able to shut the fuck up when someone wants to answer a question. So please, just be quiet for a minute.
There was a time when we did not know that bacteria existed. Did bacteria not exist before that time? Or did it always exist except there was a time before we knew it existed?
Yes, they did.
Okay, so there's the showing the ignorance of your argument right there. We can invent a science.
I'm not being ignorant. Please. Would you stop accusing me?
Ignorance means that you're just not aware of it. Okay, you're not aware of how bad your argument is.
Model, I would be the idiot and I would be wrong. You don't know my curriculum. I don't have to show you if I have any diplomas. If I'm, I
Do
don't
you have any qualifications in physics that makes you capable of having this conversation?
Experience it for yourself. This Earth did not come out of the blue.
You're right. It came out of the black.
Yeah.
We cannot create something as perfect as animals or the human body.
Incorrect.
That's what all that, the actual logical. That's an argument from
explosions.
I don't know how it could possibly happen. Therefore, it didn't happen. No, I'm sorry. We can explain that. We can explain evolution. We did it the other night. And
enough explanations doesn't mean necessarily that it is true. Even if bears logic, I don't say that the whole heliocentric system doesn't bear logic. Okay?
No, it gives predictive power.
I'm just saying
we can make predictions with it.
Not true. It's not true.
Very true.
On various ancient, various things you can crisscross to make up your mind in the end.
And you know what? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I'll tell you like this: in the 1990s, I was amazed by the internet in the 1990s. But I look at it today and I laugh at the fact that I was so amazed by 9600 baud modems. But you know what? Now I don't have to worry about having the limited capabilities of 9600 baud modems. I can do this across a fiber optic connection. Thank you, science.
Yeah.
Thank you, scientific advancements.
Team, I thought it was amazing when I downloaded the Matrix 3 in just over a day and a half.
I'm not throwing the whole scientific window. I'm saying that there are certain fields, like the field of the astrophysics, which is not truth. So I don't see any problems in rejecting it.
How is it not true?
Just because you don't understand it doesn't make it not true. Your lack of intelligence, no, Lottie, your lack of intelligence does not discredit an entire field of science.
I don't have to believe.
Tell us how it's false. Tell us how it's false. I'll listen to you.
Please falsify the entire field of astrophysics.
Please
Go ahead.
tell me how astrophysics is a false science, is a pseudoscience. Please tell me how that is.
Because looking at the sky with or without optical apparatus is not telling you that there are physical places to reach. It's based on spectrometry, on the fact that light is more or less strong. But this is assuming, this is making a lot of assumption. I can go watch myself, the sun in the sky, for several days. I see myself, it's acting as a very close light
Okay,
playing
so
with
everything you just said was
playing,
absolutely incorrect, and you didn't falsify. Astrophysics is a pseudoscience. You said because we're looking at the sky. Yeah, well, I have something that's gonna blow your mind. Every observation you accept require you looking at something. So because we're looking at the stars,
did you look into the history?
you're not
This audio
falsifying.
sounds like they're all in a cup being
the root word, the meaning of the words. No, you haven't. You assume Earth is a planet. You assume.
Assumptions.
We are looking at bodies because you take a telescope.
Lottie, stop. Goodness me.
You did not falsify astrophysics because we look in the sky to see the astronomical objects. You weirdo.
It's not objects. You call them objects. They are not.
Call them lights. That's fine. Yes, they produce or reflect light. Yes, that's true. They do appear as lit objects against the black sky. Yes, right.
Crazy.
You can't get a word in sideways.
I'm a moron. Okay. Look at yourself in the mirror, because the moron is yourself.
I do 3 times a day.
No, team, don't. Lottie, you can't tell Team to go and look in the mirror. His face can hurt him.
Possibilities to reach and conquer. I don't know.
Well,
I don't mind.
You deny something that you have.
Call me a moron. Look yourself in the mirror. You're the moron. Not wanting to look into the past and what our ancestors, our predecessors understand, what we are actually looking
at. Our predecessors were mostly idiots.
Oh my God! Do you? Okay. So again, our predecessors had 9,600 bodies. Should we be using those today? Yes or no? Should we be using 9,600 bodies from 1990 today? No. Why not?
Because you're starting to insult to idiot, moron. No, they were not morons.
No, they're objective facts. You lot are all idiots and morons.
Geophysicists, you're insulting geophysicists, you're insulting astrophysicists, people that have gone to school for this conversation like this.
That's my problem. I confronted the famous Australian guy, astrophysicist, what's his name? Danny Faulkner. Same reactions. So I'm a moron.
Danny Faulkner's a creationist.
Us. So that's a clan against a clan now.
No. When I say us, I mean sensible, normal people.
Can I leave this
I mean people that are sane. You can leave. You can leave if you like. You can leave if you like. Well, but you've done what all flat earthers do, and that's turn up without any evidence, constantly talk without learning how to shut up.
What count? They have meanings. They have a history as well. All words we are using today were not
fluid. We don't need to stick to what things meant in the past. It's all good. Look, your own ignorance is not our problem.
It's not sticking to what was said in the past. It's sticking to what is real, what is true, what is the truth.
No, not true, because meanings can develop over time as understanding increases. You not being able to... Oh, shut the fuck up, will you? Just for once, stop talking.
Jeez.
Seriously.
Same as what we ask the planet. It's your belief, it's a philosophy.
Can you ever stop talking? It's amazing. This is what flat earthers do. If you can't, say anything interesting, just constantly over talk.
You're putting a clan against a clan. It's not a debate.
No. When I say us, I mean sensible, normal, sane people, not insane morons who think the Earth is a magic frisbee.
No, it's not.
We know it's not, but you fucking idiots think it is.
Okay, tell them. I'm out.
Bye.
I keep telling you, it's not a circle.
Just wave the white flag as you leave.
I told you.
Just keep saying we're unable to determine what it is, and we are. So, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah. We'll add you to the rage quit counter. Thank you very much for participating. Have a great day.
Take care. Bye. The light.
Go and read a book.
Go and learn to read. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
That's madness.
I'm sorry, people.
Yeah, I should
Did
hope
like
so
the
too.
dig with the white flag. That was
No, 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 you're not.
See, Terry, I don't interrupt that much.
Oh, I think that takes the cake of interruptions. That
Oh
does.
my goodness.
Oh, I know some people interrupt when you're talking with the flat earthers, but not like that. That's terrible. Ah,
No, she
sorry,
didn't
Carl.
interrupt. More that she just didn't stop talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
While
actually
you were talking, they're still talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Technically, Craig and Team Skeptic were interrupting her because she never actually shut up once.
Yeah, she didn't stop.
Well, I think they were cutting off the claims early, so it was like, stop interrupting people.
Stop
Damn you,
proving me
George.
wrong while I'm talking. That's not fair.
Damn you,
Helps if I
George.
unmute, doesn't it?
Yep.
Hey, I was trying to say that's the worst case of verbal diarrhea I've ever heard.
Yeah, it was
Except for
bad.
Lemon Bird.
Yeah, well.
No, I think that's worse than lemon bird.
She kind of just blended in with what they were saying, so it was just like, nah, yeah. Every 50 seconds, it was like, what? Normally, I can hear everything. But
Was pretty extreme.
Oh, silence is golden at the moment.
Ah.
My ears are ringing from sound.
Carl says, imagine having a hip hop hippie having a chat. Oh my goodness.
Jesus.
Are these real backgrounds? Are you green screening everything?
Green screening. Well, I'm in my daughter's bedroom and it's got a green wall.
No, they're real.
No,
that's a real bedroom. That's the
Pip
bedroom.
lives
That's the
aboard the
bedroom.
Starship Enterprise.
That's the bedroom part. That's the green screen part. The background's the actual real part.
Yeah.
Look. A bit sugary, but
Yeah, the bed's on fire.
Ah,
That's a song.
that's crazy. It gives such depth to the room with that skylight version. It's like,
Yep.
Who sung the bed's on fire?
That's really clever. And Alan's in like an operations control command center thing.
Yeah, a Cold War control room. The Southern England Cold War control room.
I'm thinking the Midnight Oil.
It's pretty
Beds of
cool.
Bird.
Tuss says, is this a daily thing you could take over with AG Jackass as the main hangout? I don't think so.
Take over Jose? No.
No. I wouldn't let any flat earthers in. So
I was going to say, you'd have to let all the weirdos in. You'd just have to beat shit going, shut your face. Shut your face. Shut your face. Shut up. Just a minute. Just a minute.
Oh, he wouldn't get in because he's blocked. I've got him in block. I never see him when he's typing.
I don't like to block people. I like to see what nonsense they post.
Well, you can see it because Jose's always got his chat up anyway, so I
Yeah,
can see it if I need to.
Well,
I'm a fluffer. Well, go away, Carol.
I'll bring you the two latest flurf explanations for lunar eclipses. Are you ready?
Go on then.
Okay, so one of them said,
Is this gonna hurt?
I'll let him speak.
Stand back from your monitors. Yeah. So
Okay,
you punch
ready.
my avatar.
Peter, don't interrupt him when he's trying to talk.
You just want to change your name to Lael.
Like, it's terrible when people want to talk and you interrupt them.
Come on, I've got the camera ready. Facepalm ready. Go.
Yeah.
You can talk now, Sheepy.
Right, okay. I don't know if I can, but anyway. So I asked them, what casts the, what makes us, first of all, what makes a circle silhouette. And I thought about it. And I said, well, and they said, what do you think? I said, well, I think it's the spherical Earth casting a circle silhouette onto the moon. And they said, yeah, I know that. I've heard that. But what if, because we think the moon has its own light. So what if the moon is actually just going through a discharge cycle every month, and it's actually powering down? And I was like, yeah. I didn't really know what to say. And so I left that before I insulted people. And then yesterday, I don't know why, but because I'm not subscribed to Nathan Oakley, but it popped up as a recommendation, probably because all the Flurf things that I've seen. And so I went into the chat and I said, oh, how about those lunar eclipses? And this time I got swirling water vortexes creating a shadow.
Oh my goodness.
What? What? No, I'm not even going to go there.
No.
And then I said, well, can you explain that? So yeah, well, check out this video by Physics Girl, and then she actually gets a plate and she creates a wave in the water and creates some vortexes with the plate, and with the sun shining down, the swirling water itself creates a shadow. I said, I see what you're trying to say there, but we don't witness swirling shadows during a lunar eclipse. And it says, well, I've given you the hint. The rest is up to you to find. I was just like, oh. I said, yes. I said, what you've done is you've given me a very vague explanation, and you haven't even told me where the sun and the moon and the earth are positioned in this. And then it comes back, if that's what you think. I was just like, oh man. So
that's got shades of slick. Oh, if it helps you to think like that, Jesus,
it's just incredible. I gotta say though, I'd never thought something like that would come out. Normally, it's just we don't know what the moon is. It's their best excuse, but yeah, those are the two fresh lunar eclipses.
Wow.
The
explanation
from the classic. No one knows because no one's been there.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's touched it.
Right, except for the astronauts that have, of course.
Yeah.
Several have been there, and 12 of them were lucky enough to walk on it.
Yeah, 533 people to low Earth orbit.
Yeah,
that's not too many.
No, it's not too many.
120,000 photos taken from a Nikon digital camera by Scott Kelly in his year in space.
Yeah,
but that doesn't really.
No, well, they're all CGI. They're all fake.
Have you seen that Netflix documentary, A Year in Space?
No.
No.
It's bloody good. It's actually, because what I thought it might be just like, a little bit of documentation of how he was up there, but it seems to be that they planned this before he left. So they've got him doing his last training, going to Kazakhstan, saying goodbye to his family, arriving at the ISS, launching, arriving at the ISS, then inside the ISS, and then leaving the ISS, and then back home again, so, and his family's, while he's on the ISS, his brother, and talking, and, so it's just a real right through documentary. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's an awesome documentary. Absolute awesome documentary.
I've got to watch.
Yeah, on Netflix.
Episodes go fast, so don't they, Pete?
Oh,
you're watching them, and then you're like, oh, it's bloody over.
I think they're meant to be half an hour episodes, but no joke, some of them seem like they only go for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No,
exactly. That's all good.
They're made for the American audience. That's why they only go for 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, it's. Oh, I was just going to say, Sheeple, that it was so exciting. Not I suppose exciting. It's interesting that when you're watching it, the time just flew.
Yeah, And also, like there's that one episode where it starts off his daily activities in the morning before he goes out into the main part. In his room, and he opens up the shutters, and it's like the Earth. It's like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like open the windows. It's just like, what the hell?
I never realised, and like it makes complete sense when you think about it, that on the ISS they've got like a what's the best way to describe it? Like a storm shutter system over the windows.
Yeah.
That they use it to obviously block out the daylight so that they can have their rest period and stuff like that. But it's an actual shutter that goes over the top of the window from the outside.
Yeah. I mean, how cool is that? Automatic window, just open the shutter and it's like Earth. Just like, wow.
Well, you have to crank them open from the inside.
Yeah.
It's like a little button, and it kind of just like 90-degree falls off the open.
Well, they could open the window up and have a fly screen to stop the flies getting
in. Damn space flies.
Oh, it's like that bit in Airplane 2 when they're in space and the light comes up and you have to put that says extinguish your cigarettes. So he opens the window next to him and throws it out.
It's just so, just like if you see anyone, with a background behind them, you can see how natural it looks, and with the light bouncing off different things and whatever. And there's a way that Earth's behind them. It's like I take a look at it, and then I have to go and start my daily duties. And it's just like, I'm like, go on, tell me that that's fake.
So you wake up, look out the window, and say, "Oh, it's not a full moon tonight; it's a full Earth."
I remember Glenn telling me that one of the reasons the astronauts see a curved Earth is because the windows in the cupola are curved. Well, that's all well and good, but there's just one slight, small, niggling problem with that. They're not.
I'm going to say they're all flat, aren't they?
They're all flat, so they're not optically perfect, but they are flat, so you don't get any distortion.
Yeah.
And you no, the windows are curved, and it's like, spend a couple of minutes on Google, and you can find detailed schematics of just how they're made, and they are flat.
Yeah, they actually said that I'm sure he said that although the windows aren't perfect, they're some of the closest to perfect glass.
Yes.
So that it's designed, they were specifically designed for them to take photos out of.
Yes.
And they didn't want them to interfere with, the images that were taken through them.
Correct. It's like I keep telling people, they think about these things beforehand. They do put some thought into it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
But
like a camera
Glean's,
maker's never worked out
they're
refraction.
curved. The windows are curved and they distort the image. No, they fucking don't. You're just lying again. Then
It's funny though, right? Sorry.
No, go for it.
So it's funny that when we're about to take off in an airplane, you look out the window, right through that same meant to be curving window, but the airport's not curving, the runway is not curving, the plane that you can see out the window is not curving.
But when you get up,
yeah, exactly. So why would it change when you get up in the sky?
Yeah.
Oh, because they pressurize the plane and then everything's bowing out like a balloon. Then you see.
But it doesn't straighten the wings out when they bend.
No.
Because they're designed to bend, but it doesn't straighten them out. But then he went on to tell me that the astronauts also see a curved Earth because their eyeballs are curved.
Oh, I heard that yesterday, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
How come my ruler looks straight then?
Well, it's obviously curving the other way, but your curved eyeballs are straightening everything out. I mean, there is no depths he will not sink to. There is no bullshit he will not spout to try and disprove the globe Earth. But he's not a flat earther or a globe earther.
He'll even rap.
No, rulers are flat because the Earth's flat. If the rulers were curved, they'd be measuring a curved Earth. So.
Well, there you go.
Sheeples, can you put a C in front of that word, please?
Rap is crap. But his his singing is awful. I've never heard anything like it.
His rapping is terrible. rapping about the flat Earth.
If Alan knows he's still in camera.
Fading in and out of the control room.
Oh, that's real CGI.
Yeah.
He's sitting on the control panel, but carefully doesn't hit the red button.
Hey, is it just me, or has Alan shrunk a lot?
That's
Honey, I shrunk
perspective,
the
mate.
Alan.
He's eaten too many of Alice in Wonderland's mushrooms or something, I think.
He has reduced in angular size.
I can see you.
Okay, what else is on the list?
Oh dear.
I think Sheeple said he had
Perspective.
another armor or something.
Yes, it is perspective, Carl. But it still looks funny how small he is sitting on the control panel.
It does crack me up that when it is perspective, they've got 101 different excuses for it, and when it isn't perspective, they just go, "Oh, it's perspective."
Will I stop his video? Can I do that?
Oh, he's all right. He's only talking on the phone. That was his landline that went, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What do you want? I can stop anyone's video. I don't know about you if you've got the.
I've got it right click and say stop video.
Oh,
It's
okay,
just in case it's
you got the
private or
control.
something.
You got special control.
I'm going to
No,
stop.
he's just guessing on the phone.
You know, but he might pick his nose or something.
And
as long as if he doesn't change his pants, we're fine.
Where did you put the link to the thing, Sheeples?
Get a link, Sheepy.
I'm just scrolling up to see whether it's still inside the chat. No, I think it's too far back.
Please play it. What's that, John?
Well, it may be in Show Your Shit if it's just out, is it?
Hey Terry, why is your other stream saying that it's offline, but I can still type in it?
I don't know. That's weird, that one. I can't do anything with it. I got no way of.
Well, I can't play that one. Andrea put in.
I can delete it in YouTube Studio.
Oh, don't. I'll keep filling it full of random stuff.
Yeah, it treats it as an upload. It won't treat it as a live stream. That's anything.
Oh no.
Oh, hello, Ilya.
I just read the description. We don't want to watch this Everett Anderson one.
Oh, Christ!
He advocates urine therapy.
Have you seen what Andrew's put in any other vids?
Yeah, it's a beep.
Multi-tom-tom, Flat Earth rap.
Ah, not multi-tom-tom.
Multi-tom-tom. It's not multi-tom-tom doing rap, is it?
I don't know.
I hope not.
Oh.
Okay, I'm just going to have a preview.
It's bad enough him talking, let alone rapping.
Someone's made it.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh, dear God.
No.
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 Alrighty, I need to download that.
You might get flagged for noise
I don't know who
pollution
made
or
it.
something.
Oh,
that's
did
bad.
he make it itself?
Yeah. Guys,
Wait,
I'm
not
thinking
playing
of venturing
that.
into the music industry and spreading FE awareness to the masses. What do you think of my effort?
No. My channel.
Where was that hiding at in our stream homework?
Any other vid?
It's in any other vids. It's the very latest.
Oh.
Andrew put it in.
Any other vid but that, please.
Link in the side chat if anyone wants a laugh.
Debate Flat Earth and More has said normally we would say give up your day job, but as you are a flat earther, get a day job.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. Yeah, get a day job.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Sensible put, does anyone have any ear bleach? Out of tune, out of time, out of freaking reality. Oh, Multi-Tom-Tom's responded. What's he said? Out of this world.
Does anyone have ear bleach?
Oh, the number of times I've asked for mind bleach when we've had to watch the video. Oh dear.
If you can make the sound come out the other end, it'll probably sound better.
Gonna miss
Yeah.
senses and see if it's any droopy shit.
Can I say the track that he's got playing behind it's pretty good though?
Well, the track is, but he's all. Oh, he's words elude me at the moment.
Come on. When you're criticising someone, you've always got to, you build them up first, and then you hit them with the bad stuff. So the audio behind it's really good.
Can't take your music on a world tour without a map. Got a map? That's a good one. That's awesome.
So I've just turned the subtitles on, and it's automatically put them up in Portuguese.
Nope.
The reply was, he needs more than just a map. Talent is also required. And the next person, a brain would help. Brutal.
It's auto-generated Portuguese subtitles.
It's what it sounds like. The Google.
And what's even worse, you can't change it from Portuguese to English.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Well, hang on, I'll try again.
You have to once you put the subtitles on, you have to go into settings.
Yeah.
And auto-generate it in English. The blonde afterglow. I will see if I take possibilities. Then I will go there.
Bye,
Better
Tusk.
there.
I'm out.
Right. The subtitles don't match what he's saying.
That's what I'm saying. It's still in Portuguese.
No, it's in English. But it doesn't. If it's not a suspicion of honour, then it's kind of their you. That's got nothing. There's no resemblance to what he's saying.
It sounds like
that's weird.
Stewie with a cold. That's what
does a bit, yeah.
Actually, it's a lot like watching Dell on subtitles.
Yeah, subtitles just can't manage him at all, can they?
Why's my subtitles gone light grey? What happened there? Something's changed.
I like it how even the first line, it's like the earth is flat, but the subtitles say, and split.
Yeah, that's weird. The subtitles are nothing. It's like they've been pulled in from a completely different video.
How do you change it to the white letters? I've got grey letters.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know why it's done that.
God, that's awful. That's worse than Gleam.
Must be a setting for this somewhere. Yeah, I've noticed that on a couple of videos when I've gone to use the closed captions, and it's not. I've broke it.
Oh no.
One of the subtitles just came up, on the road on the pit space display on Faith Lemon videos.
That makes about as much sense.
When did he say that in the...
All he keeps saying is, the earth is flat.
Hey, NASA.
Morning, Phil.
Why are you lying?
Welcome
Far out. Oh.
You are indeed in wee Jilly Jocko land.
Oh, hi, the new.
Jimmy.
Change it all
on the road. On the road, on the pet space display, Faith Lemon's videos. That's awesome.
You got it. You got it. I got it as well. The next part's something about suspicion of honor or some shit. It's like, what? What is this doing? Yeah, 1 minute 13 on the road on the pit space display. Far out. Yeah, there it is. If it's not a suspicion of honor, it's that kind of their you.
The blonde afterglow. I will see if it takes possibilities. Then I'll go there. Better there.
Yeah, that's the bit I got to and thought, hey, where the hell did that come from? When all you can hear him doing is the earth is flat.
And the 3 school pluses, I didn't make it clear. I didn't.
No, we're not in Glasgow.
No, we're in Wollongong, Phil.
This is
We just think we're
not
over
in Texas anymore.
Scotland.
We're not in Kansas, sorry.
Did someone drop it in the side chats for the?
Yeah, I put it in the
Look at this one.
I'm not
Go to
watching.
11 seconds.
I'll drop it out there.
I did it.
Guys, did you?
Go to 11 seconds. A split Quingan scan forming the free of fire of film loop shouting.
Done it again.
He's broke Google. He's broken Google Captions.
I'm
Oh
not
my
surprised.
And to be in this has children. I didn't work, so this highline infinity and it's just madness.
No, John Rapp. It's pronounced Ayrshire.
This is the worst. This is actually
Any
worse.
of the peanuts know how to change the text back to white instead of grey?
I don't know.
Must have been an update, Terry.
You can even have them on. And you can actually move the actual text anywhere on the screen you want as well.
That hurt my head.
You just go into the options, Terry.
Yeah,
When
I tried that.
Options.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Font color white.
Yeah, I put it in white. No idea what's going on here.
Background color.
It comes up English or auto-generated or whatever, and then the text is a grey on a grey and it's transparent. I don't know if it's usually transparent like that. And you can actually grab the whole box and move it around the screen.
So you got font color white,
Yeah,
100% size, black background color.
Yeah.
But maybe it's your background opacity needs to be 75%.
Yeah, sorry I forgot about my camera there.
Yeah,
No, you're all right. It's just in case you were
I'm
doing
not playing.
something
I'm not
private.
playing the whole thing, but I can do that to show. So you can move that around.
Sarcastic.
So you can move that around, but the colour. And I've gone into the settings. I haven't changed anything.
You've got closed captions on, Terry.
Yes, but it's grey, not white.
Grey.
Ah.
And I didn't know you could
That's
move
what
it
you're trying to
around.
change.
Oops. What did I press? Press something I shouldn't have.
Ooh.
Oh, well, that's a bit zoomed in, Terry.
No, I clicked the wrong thing. I can move the text around. I didn't know you could do before, unless that's a new update. Get that there. But I can't figure out why it's gone grey, and I've gone into the settings, the options, got colour, size, background colour,
Are you in
black.
dark mode?
Doesn't say anything about dark. Well, it's never been.
You got the opacity. You got the opacity at 0. Do you not have to turn that up? Window opacity.
Yes. You reckon that might be?
No, window
yes.
up.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
10 yard.
Yeah, I found it. Thank you. I knew it was something simple.
Oh, it's a globe head. Be careful.
Let's sorted that out. There we go. Back to. Oh, stop sharing. What else have we got planned, Pip?
Nothing much. Whatever you fancy.
Or did you want to play Sarcastic Barman?
Yeah, play it, because if you're not sub to him, go sub to him. But this woman's really nuts. It's not flat earth. She's just mental.
It's derp.
Yeah.
Did anyone see that flute playing from the space station? That was pretty cool.
I'm going to watch it later. I didn't want to put it on here because it might be.
Yeah, you might. Only 72
Hello.
subscribers. So
This message is to all of you agents of illusory authority. This is to all of you who are sitting at the top of your illegitimate structures of power, claiming to have the right to rule over us and to make your own laws. But the winds of change are blowing.
Yeah, I see what you did there. Winds of change while recording outside where it's windy in fucking portrait mode. Oh, joy. You know this is going to be crazy already, don't you? Roll the intro.
Oh, yeah.
Is he not in portrait mode?
Did I hear a bell?
Well, Elmo's at the door.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Sarcastic Barman, and welcome to my channel. We seem to have a problem, though.
Hello. What are you doing today?
We know there's a cure.
Usual.
There's always a cure, because that is how Mother Nature works. That is the level of organic intelligence that is present here in this.
I'm hijacking Pip's channel for the night, Elmo.
Okay, I didn't think you usually streamed on Tuesdays.
No. Now and again I might do. I used to do an in-between stream, just random. But tonight we were bored over on Discord, and I said, "How about we go live?" Then Pip put a hand up.
This is the midstream analysis, is it?
Midstream. You missed a bit of derp earlier. It was fun.
Yeah, I was cooking quince jelly.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
As you do.
Yeah.
This creation. Always.
Oh dear, it seems we've scraped the barrel of woo peddlers. Now, this video was actually sent to me by a person called J.A. Hill in my comments, who's a firm fan favourite of Kate Shiminari. And this was the, yeah, look at this one, she's just as good. She's fucking, you're right. She is just as fucking good. If by good you mean mental. Dick. But, yes. Everything has a cure, apparently. That'll be a goddamn no then. There's no actual cure for polio, though you can vaccinate to stop getting it. Alzheimer's, diabetes, asthma. They're just ones that come off the top of my goddamn head that you can not have a cure for, but you can have preventative medication and medication that will then limit the symptoms that you are then suffering with and manage these things. But no, not everything has a cure, you daft mare.
We know that we can use simple cell salts and minerals and vitamins to purify even a deliberately poisoned organism.
Really? So if we purposely give you sepsis, what vitamins and minerals are you going to take? Remember, you can only take the vitamins and minerals, so no steroids, no antibiotics. We'll see how well you do with that, shall we?
So, we'll always find a way to treat ourselves with natural remedies. And what I'd like to ask is, do you really think that people are going to go along with this fraud?
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you have any information to actually suggest it is a fraud? You know, anything proper, scientific, looked into, anything weighed, measured, and anything like that at all?
because I very much doubt it. Whereas we could show you something as simple as mortality rates through the ages before modern medicine, when people had all these vitamins and minerals and shit they could take, an all natural response to everything. And people ended up having around 6 children, if not more, but the population rate stayed relatively low due to how many fucking people died.
Most healthcare workers are real human beings who care. And there's no way that you could bribe or threaten them to remain silent in the face of institutionalized medical malpractice and negligence.
That's right, you can't bribe everyone, which is a good thing. I wouldn't actually disagree with that. But do you notice that the only people who are coming out going, yes, this recent giant plague virus thing that's sweeping the world, yeah, it's not real. Yet the only people saying that are nut jobs like you or other people who don't actually work as proper medical staff. So people who work in beautician clinics, osteopaths who only work with backs, or just nut jobs like you trying to sell vitamins, minerals, and I'm going to guess you're going to try and sell me a crystal at some point.
We know that the PCR method of testing is unscientific.
No, it's not, but please continue, because this hole's going to get really big for you.
And leading up to 80% false positives. Because of the COVID-19 genetic material is actually present in many different organisms, including fruit, as was wonderfully demonstrated by the president of Tanzania, who decided to test the test kits that the World Health Organization sent him.
Now let's address the PCR tests first.
Tanzania,
under
in
laboratory conditions,
Africa.
5 of these test kits have been tested. Testing test kits. But these have achieved 100% rating on sensitivity on positive samples and at least a 96% specificity on negative samples. So yeah, that's really good. They know these results are going to be ideal and the test kits aren't to blame. What can be to blame for negative results is people not either testing at the right time, so either too soon or too late, so there's not enough virus left in their system, or something as simple as not putting the thing up your nose to get the virus DNA far enough. So you're not basically testing properly. The test kits themselves are not to blame, it's people not using the test kits correctly. Simple as. Now, as for this claim that Tanzania and his president, and they're like, yeah, look, this fruit's got stuff in. The only person to say that is him. Other tests have been done and there's nothing. It's just him saying that. He is a person who is desperate to get his country back open and has elections in autumn. So, yeah, he's not doing well. He's also sacked health ministers and people like that. So, yeah, we're not going to take anything like that. All the tonics that he's saying that people should get from Madagascar with no scientific backing, a bit like fucking Trump and things he's doing, they probably would get along.
We know that the CDC published an official document on March the 4th, 2020, stating that a COVID-19 death should be marked even when the patient was only assumed to have had it, or even when COVID-19 was merely a contributing factor.
You say this like it's some big, I got them, look, yeah, they're saying mark all these as COVID. Do you want to know the full cause of death classification and definition of deaths off the CDC for this are in their technical notes for this entire thing? So, when coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19 are reported as a cause that contributed to the death on a death certificate, these can include laboratory confirmed cases as well as cases without laboratory confirmation. If the certifier suspects COVID-19 or determines that it was likely, e.g., the circumstances were compelling with a reasonable degree of certainty that they can report COVID-19 as probable or presumed on the death certificate. COVID-19 is listed as the underlying cause of the death certificate in 94% of deaths. So it's not, yes, we'll just mark them as all COVID, but they can put COVID as an underlying cause of death, and they can just report that this person had COVID and has now died, but it's an underlying cause of death, not, yeah, it was just COVID. No, there are like specifics on a death certificate of underlying causes, contributing causes, and all that shit. But we wouldn't expect any sort of knowledge of that from you, would we?
We know also that the initial official disease projection model for COVID-19, made by Professor Neil Ferguson at the London Imperial College, is totally fraudulent, and that he grossly overestimated the number of deaths leading from COVID-19. Just like he has done in the past. This guy has a track record of making these false prophecies about infectious diseases, like he did with swine flu, avian flu, and the mad cow disease. And yet, you still gave that man that platform, knowing that he has this track record.
Now, the initial COVID model that everyone bangs on about is one where it said, if you do nothing, shit is going to hit the fan. The basic main thing in that is, if you do nothing. Now, if you haven't noticed, we've got social distancing, lockdown, my bar's closed and all that jazz. The same sort of went for mad cow disease. If you do nothing, shit will hit the fan. So we did something. Numbers then didn't hit the worst case scenario model. Same went for swine flu. If you do nothing. But all of that shit. I don't know why I need to keep going on. They're models on worst case, but they're not the only models made. If the models that Ferguson predicted were so off kilter, he wouldn't be asked to provide any more models, would he? That would just be silly. Because people can look at his track record and go, oh, you said that millions of people would die. No, I said up to millions of people would die if you just sat on your fat ass doing nothing, moaning about what everyone's fucking doing, you moron.
So it's clearly deliberate. And this initial projection was used as a justification to lock down the entirety of United States and United Kingdom. And even though this model has already been changed because it was totally fraudulent, the same lockdown measures remain intact.
Yeah, and with these lockdown measures, we've still managed to have 36,000 deaths in the UK, 345,000 worldwide. So take that into consideration, then think, ooh, if we didn't do the lockdown, would we be close to those initial numbers that were predicted in Ferguson's model? Yeah, we probably fucking would, you daft... Ooh.
We also know that there are several possible causes for these symptoms that people are experiencing all around the world. For example, Dr. Zach Bush talks about cyanide poisoning as a result of severe air pollution.
Cyanide poisoning, really? That would make sense in areas of high industrial level work and shit like that, not in little farming areas where the disease has still arrived. Take me, for example. There's been cases up the road from me. I live in Herefordshire, which is 90% fucking green and farmy.
Dr. Judy Mikovits talks about flu shots that are contaminated with coronaviruses.
Well, what about people who haven't had flu shots that have then caught coronavirus? How do you work that one out in your little woo world?
Dr. Rashid Buttar has been revealing what is going on with the gain of function research, where a natural substance is deliberately manipulated in laboratories to turn them into a far more virulent and resistant form. We know that that's happening.
And yet there's no evidence to suggest that the COVID virus has been altered in a laboratory to make it more resilient or anything like that.
Stephanie Seneff, a senior research scientist at MIT, has attributed the growing pulmonary toxicity to the presence of glyphosate in our environment and in our food supply. You know, that stuff that Monsanto makes?
Now, while Stephanie Seneff does work for MIT, her specialities are computer science and artificial intelligence. A great one to take for anything for virology or anything like that. Joy. She also thinks that glyphosates, when sprayed on genetically modified corn, which is then used to make ethanol, are then absorbed by the corn, and when burnt in biofuels are then being put into the atmosphere and absorbed by people through their breathing. even though that it burns higher in a car than the glycosol can survive and is destroyed, so we'll ignore that bit. In areas then that don't use as much glyphosate or biofuels, or genetically modified corn for that matter, she has other reasons. The best one's for Italy, because Italy, though it doesn't use genetically modified corn, they do use a lot of olive oil, and glyphosate is sprayed on the olive plants. Then when the olive oil is recycled and turned into biofuel, this then causes that once again. And in Russia, where there is no biofuel, they should make something else up. So yeah, this lady is nuts once again. On Google, she's actually marked as people also search for Andrew Wakefield. And we all know he was a fucking nutball.
And Dr. Thomas Cowan talks about the millimeter wave radiation that is actually causing iron to separate from hemoglobin, making it very difficult for our bodies to utilize oxygen in our blood.
Dr. Thomas Crown, really? This is the guy that thinks the heart isn't a pump and it's some other cosmic-y goodness that's making everything go around our body. And obviously now is a 5G fucking nut job.
And you are censoring all of this information, all of these experts, all of this research. And yet, we are finding alternative platforms. We are connecting with independent investigative journalists, doctors, researchers, scientists, and we are finding out our own answers.
Now, do you know the funny thing about all those people you mentioned? They all have different ideas and none of them over fucking lap, do they? They're all thinking, no, it's this, no, it's that, no, it's this, no, it's that. None of them have got any repeatable scientific evidence for these things, and they all just seem to be completely and utterly batshit crazy. So, yeah, you've got your alternative platforms, that's fine. The internet's there, you can spout your crazy, wootarding, craziness. But unless you're going to have some evidence for this crazy, wootard craziness, then it's just crazy, wootard craziness, isn't it? Yeah. Do you know what you call alternative medicine that works? Fucking medicine. So, yeah. You definitely go in the crazy pile and you can be barred for goddamn life. You are nut-jobbly nuts. You really are. The people you have mentioned in this video are as nuts as you are, and that's a bit scary. But I think we're going to leave it there for tonight because, yeah, you be crazy bitch. But we'll catch you all on the next one. I don't know what the next one's going to be. I've got some videos lined up, but oh God, they just get worse at the moment. All the conspiracitards seem to have crawled out from under a fucking rock. So, great. But don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe down below. I am the Sarcastic Barman. Buy one of my t-shirts. It's nice t-shirt weather at the moment, so why the hell not? And we'll see you all on the next one. Good night.
That job.
Yep. Completely.
Another one that's escaped.
Yep.
Somebody left the door open.
I kind of felt like she was forcing a smile as she was talking all the time.
Yeah, quite possibly.
You know, her other voice was talking to her. She's like, "Not now. I'm doing a video."
You're trying to figure out where she's from.
Wouldn't be surprised if she was Grimm's wife.
Oh, good grief. I haven't seen him for a while.
I have.
Well, I avoid places where you go.
He's one of these people that doesn't believe the COVID's as bad as it is.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So governments and countries shut down all their businesses and retail and economy for no reason. Okay.
Shits and giggles.
Right, okay.
Yep, no reason at all.
No, Terry, it was to put up the 5G network.
That's not what it was. It made that easier, did it?
Oh, John.
Yeah.
Hey, you know that video where Renee approaches the guy? It's got the little truck with the cherry picker lift on it, and he's working on a tower.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
And and he says that it's 5G. Well, that was featured on the news here the other night.
Really?
Was it?
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. And they said that the equipment that the guys were putting up wasn't even 5G. It was older technology.
Yeah. It's like a communication system between each of the overhead lighting, so that they know when there's an issue with it. You know, if the driver in it's burnt out, or if the lights themselves have stopped working and they should be working, and it tells them to turn on and all that type of good stuff. So it saves on wiring, essentially.
John, you didn't need to retract your thing. I saw it. It was funny. My headphones are all twisted. Excuse me. Any more dirt? Have you got anything?
I've been looking, but I haven't found any. I know we got Tinfoil. Somebody mentioned Tinfoil Tuesday, and I'm thinking, yeah, well, we'll probably catch up with Simon tomorrow night for that.
Yeah. Because it's more kind of flat earth than.
But anything else that's random that we don't normally play, yeah.
Well, I hear Ranty's taking Sleeping Warrior to court.
Yes. Yes, he is.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, you've got to follow that one.
Is it? So, my understanding wasn't it he taking Ranty to court first up, and he's putting in a counterclaim or something like that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think it'll get as far as then Randy going into the courthouse to submit it, and then they go, "What's this for? Is this a joke?"
Yeah.
Well, what's the possibilities that he walks into the courthouse and the judge signals to the bailiff behind him to bring the white jacket in?
It's him. Get him.
Nice.
But if you watch the show though, on which all this came about from, you know, the super chats and everything, Ranty clearly says, you know, all the super chats tonight will be for Roxanne. And then all of a sudden, like $1,000 worth of super chats come in, and he's like, "Oh," you know, and then he
Yeah, because he was probably thinking like £5 or £10 or something, but when he's getting like 900 things, yeah.
Exactly. I think he even said then the next couple of shows as well. And then
Super
all of a
chats
sudden,
are amazing, aren't they? They're just amazing super chats. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Why didn't we want to watch this Everett Anderson?
Was there a reason?
Everett's obviously back from his break and producing new ones, is he?
Oh, my laugh. Play it, Terry. I'm trying to find a knee crossing story for the end.
Oh, we can do whatever you want. We can even do anything from a quiz to playing more derp, or find somebody else to shill, or what else?
Colon's dropped you something in Discord. In any other vids?
He dropped something again.
Sorry, it's derp.
Sorry, it's derp.
Didn't get
where
that.
did he put it? Homework. Now I can't play Flat Earth BBC News, Andrea. Sorry about that. Andrea put something from Flat Earth BBC News in stream homework. No, we definitely can't play that. Pennington? I don't know who that is. Flat Earth. Something you all be an armchair scientist.
Oh, Dora, thank you. Dora didn't get the hint. Thank you very much. Oh, sheeples. Goodness sake.
This is how I'm watching the show.
So I'm just going to say it.
Oh, this guy.
Say it, say it, say it.
Steve Pennington guy.
I heard a voice.
Yeah.
Was it him going away?
He's only got 12. He's only got 12 subscribers. This guy.
Thank you,
But then
John.
he lost his channel.
Did he?
He lost his channel. Yeah, he had a few more, but he lost his channel for making horrible comments about women. He got taken down.
Well, you want to play this one then? The one that was put in my Discord from Colin.
This is the one that looks like Homer Simpson.
You got Flat Earth Doctrine. Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah.
And then you got a Flat Earth Doctrine. Earth just keeps getting flatter, as well.
Okay.
So we got two. That one and that one.
Hey folks, Nathan Roberts here. Hopefully you're doing well.
Yeah.
Don't know who that guy is.
Professor Phil needs 30 more subs to get to 1,000.
Oh.
Well done.
Awesome.
Yeah, I need a few too, Phil.
Oh dear.
Better keep that there. Share that. Been going for 3¼ hours.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if I can stay up too late. Who's
he
this
got
guy?
around
Yeah,
his
this is
neck?
the
Real
Homer
quick,
Simpson
real
guy.
fast, just to get it out of the way. I'm reminding you that in 4 days, and I think you should set out a couple of hours for this, okay? Think of yourself as a real armchair scientist, okay? This is real, okay? You're really doing a real experiment just like a scientist would, okay?
He's got it in 1280 by 720, but yet he's got it in portrait mode, the video. He's got...
It says one more okay.
Set out
I'm going to help.
2 or 3 hours maybe, I don't know. But I want you to start looking at the sun before it sets.
Yeah, Tintin, Bob.
You know,
yeah,
2 or 3 hours before it sets. When it's as high off the horizon as the moon, start then, okay? Now, there's no question in your mind when the sun and the moon are the same height off the horizon that the light from the moon reflecting off the moon should just go straight across right back at the sun. You know that. What? And you'll look at the sun and the moon and you'll see, well, let me look up. Sun, moon. Okay. And the moon's not aiming at the sun. It's not aiming straight across. It's aiming up.
No.
What was that again?
That is the...
I'm gonna have, I have to hear it again. It didn't...
Yeah, run that by us again.
Yeah, run that by me again. It's a bit quiet for
It's
me
the
on
sun.
my end. I can't hear it. I'll tweak him up a little
Turn him
bit
up a
so
bit.
I can hear it. Right, try again. Right, here we go.
At the sun and the moon and you'll see, well, let me look up. Sun, moon. Okay. And the moon's not aiming at the sun. It's not aiming straight across.
What?
It's aiming up. Up a little bit. I'd call it the 2 o'clock position. You know, if there was a clock around it with numbers around it. It'd be aiming at 2. Okay?
No.
Now, the sun's going to get lower, the moon's going to get higher. We're talking, what, 4 or 5 days from now. Okay? Get out there about, what, 5:30, 6 o'clock? And you'll see the sun go down more. Goes down, 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 down. It's setting. And the moon keeps going up and up and up. And you'll see the moon just keeps aiming at the 2 o'clock position. Keeps aiming up. and the sun's getting lower, lower, lower. Now, this is how you do it, okay? You don't look at the sun, you don't look at the moon to begin with. You look between them. Okay, this is a new revelation for me. This is why I'm like 2 minutes into the video and I'm just now telling you, because it's what I should have said immediately, but it's new to me. So, but I'm giving it to you. Put your nose
I'm on medication.
between
It just popped
the
out of my
moon
head. Hang on.
and the sun. That's how you look at this. All right. And then you shift your eyes and you just look at the moon and the sun like that. Okay, tilt your nose up when you first get there. They're the same height off the horizon. And look at the moon and look at the sun. Look at the moon, look at the sun. Now, as the moon goes up and the sun goes down, you're going to have to be tilting your head.
Like
look
a
at the moon, look at
madman.
the sun. The sun gets real close to the horizon. You're going to be looking at the sun, looking at the moon, looking at the sun, looking at the moon. And the moon will aim at the sun when you do that first. Do that first. The camera lens. Do that first. You're looking with your nose between the moon and the sun. You're looking at the moon. You're looking at the sun. You're looking at the moon. You're looking at the sun. The moon aims right at the sun. Then look at the moon. Just like that. You just turn your head from a tilt to a straight up and down. And your nose is right at the moon. And you'll see.
I'm turning this guy into a music
The moon
video. That's
is
it.
no longer aiming down at the sun setting, but it's aiming up at the 2 o'clock position. See why it's important to put your nose between the moon and the sun and do that thing first? Because you got to kind of locate the between. All right, you get that located and then you just shift your eyes. And okay, that takes a few seconds to locate that. But it don't take nothing to locate the moon. And put your nose right at the moon. And so that's what I'm trying to do is cut down on this
Not
time.
an airplane.
So the moon's aiming down and up. Just
Nose
that
up,
quick.
nose down. It's like far out.
Miss Scientist. See that?
See what?
What? What did I just watch?
What were we looking for?
Professor
What? What? Professor Phil, can you come in and explain this guy to me?
Oh my god. What the hell? Aiming at the sun.
I'll blame Colin for that.
Takes a moment to locate that. Oh.
So you got to point your nose.
That's why.
Oh.
That's why the medication was prescribed.
Yeah.
First thing I should have told you is to run out of medication. Far out.
What the hell was the point? What was it? I was supposed
I
to
lost
see like a light beam from the moon going to the sun or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, like a laser?
It was the 2 o'clock position. Far out, man.
All right, so I don't know about the video, but I do know you can see Jupiter really well outside at the moment.
Oh, can you?
Whoa.
It's
No,
kind of
no, you can't.
Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars are all kind of within a bull's roar of each other. So they're yeah.
Ah, so we can locate the in between and nose up. And it'll be at the 2 o'clock position.
We'll be at the 2 o'clock position, yeah.
Yeah, but the problem I got at the moment is I got cloud watching the rain.
Oh, that sounds like a you problem, Terry.
So the cloud is aiming at the rain?
No, the cloud's just there watching the rain.
So the cloud's watching the rain. It's just
yeah. The clouds have got nothing to do with the rain.
Right. But was there lightning?
Don't you know about that one, Sheepy, about the rain? You missed you missed the memo. Yeah.
I missed the memo.
Yeah, the clouds don't cause the rain. It's just a coincidence that there are a lot of clouds around when the rain's there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh dear.
I lost a few brain cells in that video.
I think I did too.
I think you're going to lose some more in this one by the sound of it.
What?
Earth just keeps getting flatter by Flat Earth Doctrine.
My self-defense has kicked in.
Oh,
Well,
this
that's
is the one.
Nathan
This is
Roberts.
yeah. This is the third Nathan.
Oh, this is another Nathan.
Oh, is this Roberts? The one
Yeah,
we
I
don't
think
see too much of recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
He's
we
only
forgot
got
to read the
20,000
comments on the other
subscribers.
video, Terry.
Hey? Sorry?
We forgot to read the video comments.
So he's a Christian
on the other guy.
fundamentalist.
On the other one.
Yeah, he is Christian fundamentalist.
Oh yeah, he is.
There's,
He's a complete legitard.
There's some really good. I've actually in the last couple of days, because I was looking for something intellectual to read.
So I'm just going to say real quick, real fast.
Shut up.
I found some papers written by academics that study the actual Bible, and one of the questions he was answering was, where does it actually say the earth is flat in the Bible? And his quite concise answer was, it simply doesn't.
Yeah,
it's all interpretation. And the closest thing that he said that where it could have come from is the translation of the four corners of the earth, which originally was the four winds of the earth, which was to depict the four directions of the compass of which way the wind could come from. And he goes,
Oh, right. I get what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, so by saying there's four corners, it's like a sheet of paper type of flat earth type thing. Yes, there's not once does it mention anything about flat earth. And on top of that, the sheer fact about the whole firmament has been shown over and over that it's a very poor translation of the word and what it actually means.
Yeah, arch of the sky. Yeah. No,
Anyway.
it's
Sorry,
the idea of
Terry.
pillars. The idea of pillars is pillars of the sky. You know, like it's not literal. You know, it's all these things. But yeah.
Anyway,
Somebody
are you
wanted
going to play the derp?
Oh, somebody wanted the. Did you say you wanted to hear the comments, Sheepy?
Yeah, I just thought there'd either be people cheering him on or mocking him. So what I see is mocking him.
I mean, your experiment. He said your experiment is faulty because it's based on a faulty premise. Basically.
Yeah. The moon isn't a reflective
laser.
I love it. I'll give you an opportunity to prove me wrong. Make a map. Oh.
This one here, loved it. That it?
Yeah, that was it, I think.
What? Make a map of the flat Earth. Make it no smaller than 4 feet. Get something to represent the moon and a lamp to represent the sun. Turn off all the lights and show us how the sun hits only parts of the Earth and how a lunar eclipse works. There you go. Too easy.
Oh, I told you, it's the light going through a discharge cycle on the.
Oh yeah, because that makes perfect sense.
Well, if you prefer the swirling water vortex created by some unknown means, and
no,
it just does.
I prefer reality, I must admit.
Right the hand. It's because that's how it was made. It works like that. It just
he's
does.
He's gone full on beard.
Yeah, shave it, trim it, something.
Yeah, it looks a mess.
There's a man of wisdom right there. Look at him.
Bible says flat earth. No, it doesn't.
Press play.
Yeah, please.
Go on then.
And just wanted to check in real quick and just say that this is a really great opportunity given the unfolding of the pandemic and how so evident it is that mainstream media is colluding with many evil people and propagating many scientific lies, which is why is this much different than even the fallacy of a spinning ball? I mean, this is the same line of thinking. I think that the spinning ball obviously is much more nefarious because it's much more subtle. Most people have no clue for the most part about what's going on with that for the most part. But I think that this pandemic, many people are now questioning the authorities, and they have a healthier distrust for government officials, scientific authorities, health officials, and this brings up an opportunity, I believe, for us to present biblical cosmology, flat earth, to inquiring minds, people who maybe beforehand, a few months ago, a year ago, they weren't maybe ready to take in this information, but now they may be in a position where, hey, they're willing to consider the information that you've been trying to present to them. So I just want to encourage you to send them to like my flat earth doctrine.com website. There's a lot of good resources in there, scriptural evidence as well as scientific evidence where the government. So I'm hopeful that you guys will at least share that information with those people that you care about and love and are hopeful that they won't be deceived by this kind of stuff. So I'll put a video in the video description, pinned comment. I'll put a link to the webpage that goes to the Government Admits Flat Earth. I've also got the Operation Oxygen webpage, which I'm still having to tweak because I had 30 videos that were embedded on that. And it was all Vimeo videos, a paid subscription, and Vimeo decided to remove all, they just terminated my entire account. So I have to go back through every single one of those videos and figure out a way to get them to populate on the webpage. So it's going to take me some time to get it there, but I will. So please be patient with me. I will get that there. But in the meantime, the earth seems to be getting flatter as more people understand that they cannot blindly just trust anyone who gets a microphone or gets a spot on a television show or on a news broadcast. Everything has to be questioned and should be filtered through the lens of God's word ultimately. But anyways, I thought this might just be a good reminder to maybe try to strike up those conversations with people once again and share some information. Maybe they'll be open to it. Of course, most importantly, that Jesus Christ, he is the way, the truth, the life, and no man comes to the Father but by him. He is the Creator, the Lord, and the Savior of us all. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Peace, guys.
Have I ever said how much I hate religiotards?
Yeah, we know.
They always say God, but they never say which one.
Exactly.
Well, they've only got approximately 6,000 to choose from.
Oh, okay.
Well, would you like this this document that's been read up, farmers? Because he goes all the way into even the firmament and the dome and all of that, explaining where it's come from out of the Bible and what it really actually means.
Yes, please. I'm quite interested in that. I mean, I know the Bible is you know, it's a translation of a translation of a translation of a translation of a very carefully edited collection of badly written stories, most of which have been copied from older religions, and yet somehow these idiots think we're supposed to lead our lives by it.
Well, the beauty of this is like this guy. It actually comes from a religious side, so it comes from, shall we say, using logic rather than the reasoning that these people use, and mostly to just the points that they bring up all of the time, including the different.
Well, I see them saying, "Oh, we should believe all these religious." See any of these people going to the doctor and saying, "Could you please drain? I seem to have too much of it."
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, but they'll believe the religious stuff from 2,000 years ago, but they won't believe any of the other stuff. You know, like they won't live like the people lived 2,000 years ago. They won't forego their mobile phones or their cars or their healthy food from the supermarket. You know. With
that now filled with incense and other potpourri, because with the mentality, well, if I can't smell the coronavirus, it's not going to affect me. You know, like they did with the Black Plague. You know, like, well, why don't they do that? Well, because it's found to be stupid. Why don't they have the bloke that walks around with his card anymore saying, "Bring out your dead"? You know.
Well, this is Ken Ham's website, isn't it?
Even if he's not an innocent, he'll die.
And a lot of these people, you know, using the Bible to claim a flat Earth, do not act. It's who's tearing up books inside, you know, inside, you know, the shop at Walmart or whatever, tearing up books and, you know, all these different things. And it's just like none of these actions actually depict someone of them. You know, true people of faith, you'd probably never even know they were until you ask them. You know, so.
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
There's always
Rossetti.
There's always something in the barrel.
I think we're awfully buffering.
Yeah, it's buffering a lot on my end too.
I don't know what's going on. It says stream is healthy.
Hang on, let me.
Refreshed it once.
Well, I don't want to refresh in case it's done that.
Let me bring up the stats for nerds on the stream.
Where you got the streaming quality in the YouTube studio when you're streaming? I don't know if there's two choices or three choices where you can have ultra low latency, or high latency or something.
Yeah, actually give me that option when I was setting it up.
Yeah, it depends on.
Buffering again. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I've been having phone call after flipping phone call here today. I was using the ultra low latency when we were having the buffering problems the last few days, and then yesterday, the last couple of days, I switched it back to standard, and it seemed much happier on normal.
I don't know then.
But yeah, if you hadn't changed anything, then you should be on normal. It should be on normal.
Yeah. So it's just YouTube playing up there. Sorry, guys.
It's back now.
Chat.
So how badly do you want some derp?
Oh, quite badly. If you're looking, I could read a wee story, just a wee. No, I've read that one.
That's some student derp.
Yeah, I'll go for it then.
It's just off the internet, so it's nothing that people probably haven't seen before, but it's worth looking at and talking about because it's funny. Let me get my screen up. Right. Okay. Tell me when you can see that.
Yep.
What ended in 1896? 1895, of course. I guess they're correct, but it's probably not the answer the teacher was looking for.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Quadrilaterals. Name the quadrilateral. So we've got Bob, Tedison, Kate, Sam, and Harry.
Yeah, I probably would have done the same.
Yeah.
Of course, not Fred.
Yeah. Extra credit. What is the strongest force on Earth? Love.
Oh, that's
How
romantic.
cute. Yeah.
Good on you, Peter.
Yeah. Expand. I've seen this one.
Yes,
before.
I've seen that one before.
Expand. So it just puts more distance between.
When you haven't got a clue, go for the humour content.
Yeah. The man can run. You got to choose the word from the words in brackets, obviously. The man popped the dog.
Pet.
And
Pet.
Yeah, pet the dog. But you're supposed to choose from
fit and hit.
Fit or hit. You should not hit a dog.
Bloody right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Write an example of a risk. This. I like that.
You got a tick. You got a tick.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. You are to assume the role of a Chinese immigrant in 1870 and write a letter home describing your experiences. Your letter should include the following: your contributions and experiences in the West.
Written in Chinese.
I guess he's assuming the role of a Chinese immigrant.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
right.
good.
You should get an A for that.
Yeah. Hard and soft water. Briefly explain what hard water is.
Oh,
Ice.
Yeah.
What do we call the science of classifying living things?
Racism.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Solving the equation. 1 on n sine x equals. Cross out the n's and you just get 6.
6. 6 equals 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Before you read, some atoms share electrons and become more stable. Describe a situation in which people share something and everyone benefits.
Communism.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Name Frankie. I earn money at my home by I don't. I am a freeloader.
Yeah, my name is Nathan Thompson.
Someone's told him that.
Yeah.
This is parents, aren't they?
Can a man still reproduce with only one testicle? No, girls don't find that shit attractive.
Nice try.
Oh, what the next one is? The next one is an all-time classic.
Yeah, I love this
Oh,
one.
find X. There
It
it is.
is.
There it is.
It
There
is.
I love that one.
Yeah. Saying right.
Okay.
Cow.
Bird.
Bird.
Cat.
Dog.
Duck.
Oh dear. Got carried away with the F there.
Yeah. The difference between 180 and 158 is 22. Explain how you found your answer in problem 4. Math.
Exactly.
Where was the American Declarations of Independence signed?
At the bottom.
The bottom.
Yeah. What happens during puberty to a boy? He says goodbye to his childhood and enters adultery.
Oh,
What is the highest frequency noise that a human can register? Mariah Carey.
Did she get that high?
Yeah.
Oh.
Cause Tony practices the piano 20 minutes every day.
yeah.
Effect. He is a big nerd. Oh, must be a nerd. Checking. The water of the Earth's oceans stores lots of heat. An engineer designed an ocean liner that would extract heat from the ocean's waters at TH equals 10 degrees Celsius and reject heat to the atmosphere at T equals 20 degrees Celsius. He thought he had a good idea, but his boss fired him. Explain. Because he slept with his boss's wife. In other words, he didn't know the answer. To change centimetres to metres, you
Take out the centi.
Yeah.
We should tell Nathan.
Oh, that was.
We should tell
That
Oakley
was
that one.
Nathan. Yeah.
Yeah. Unscramble the words to make a sentence about each sentence. So
What?
here we have.
Okay.
You've got to unscramble the sentence that's written under here to make a new sentence. Have a guess what this student wrote.
Is pen in
Is
goat
pen
my
in
age?
goat my aunt?
Something about penises, yeah.
My penis in a goat.
That reminds me of a Grand Tour episode. I think they were donkeys, though.
Yeah. Tapeworms are hermaphrodites. What is meant by the term hermaphrodite? Lady Gaga.
That was the rumor. I don't think it's true, though.
No, I don't think.
No.
The first cells were probably. What do you reckon?
Lonely, because I already read it.
Yeah. Lonely. Yeah.
Oh, poor things.
What are the two types of sex cells? Eggs and sperm. Yeah, got that one right. During what stage do the chromosomes line up in the middle of the cell? It's a secret. Explain the phrase free press when your mum irons trousers for you.
Yep, like that one.
Mm-hmm. Miranda can't see anything when she looks down her microscope. Suggest a reason why. She's blind.
She's blind.
The diagram below best illustrates Lamarck's theory of evolution. So he's crossed out all of them. E, he's put in giraffes are heartless creatures. Draw a picture of what you will look like in 100 years. In 100 years, I will be... Get it? Headstone. I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
There you go.
Yeah, I've gone through a lot of
That's
those
just
ones.
a little bit of...
Some of them are clever, the answers.
Very good.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
There's a heap of them out there, those.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been nearly gone for 4 hours, Pip.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to read one story and then we'll go. It's just a quick.
Okie dokie.
I usually say to the gentleman, cross your legs.
Oh, no. It's going to be medical shit, isn't it?
Well, it's funny.
Yeah, okay.
In the mid-90s, I was helping out in A&E on a busy Saturday night. A guy was brought in from an unofficial rave by ambulance after having apparently danced so much he passed out. We suspected a Class A drugs overdose. When he came in, he was wearing an extremely tight pair of white jeans and had an astonishingly large bulge down one leg. The trousers were so tight that they had to be cut off him. He was still unconscious at this point, and we wanted to insert a catheter, honest. After cutting them all, fully anticipating something prodigious, we were disappointed to discover what the huge bulge really was. A football sock stuffed with cotton wool.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
That wasn't too bad.
Yeah, but how embarrassing for
I've
him
done
when he
this one
wakes up and he knows that they know.
It's like putting tissues down your bra. Right, quick one. I've done this one before, but it's really funny. I work as a specialist nurse in a care home. An elderly lady was in clinic, and I asked her if she could read the eye chart for me, covering her left eye. I can't, dear. So I said, okay, cover your other eye and read the chart. I still can't, I'm afraid, dear. So I said, can you read, Rosie? Of course I can, dear. But you can't read the chart? No. Can you see the chart? I was getting slightly irritable by this time. Oh, yes, dearie. Then why can't you read it? Because I can't pronounce it. Sorry.
Yeah, like that. Can't pronounce it. Oh, if only those charts were proper words.
We had a rather large gentleman in our town here win an MBE, right? And he was bragging about it at the pub. I've got an MBE. I've got an MBE. And one of the other patrons in the pub said, yeah, you know what that stands for, Cliff? And he goes, yeah, member of the British Empire. And someone said, no, it means my bum's enormous.
Oh, yeah.
Right, that's for the day then. Thank you very much, Terry, for hosting.
Oh, you're welcome, Pip. I don't mind hijacking some people's channels now and again.
You're welcome anytime. And thank you, everyone out there, for coming along. I think we got up to 33 or something.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, 31. 30. I've got 31 here at the moment still. Yeah. Sure. We had Alan, we had Pip, we had Farmer, we had Peter, we had Sheepy, and we had Elmo. In the Peanuts, we had Carl, we had Brachia, John, Heatshield, Bo, Carl, Dora. Oh, scroll. John, Dora, Carl. Boggs. Don't forget Boggs and Heatshield.
Bog.
Yeah.
9 o'clock hero, Jinzu. Lots of peoples.
Yeah. Well, they all found you. That's the main thing.
Yay.
Okay, night, Peanuts.
Good night, Peanuts.
Night,
Good night, Peanuts.
Night, Peanuts.
Good night, Karuka Nuts.
Are you sure you haven't used that one before?